Important update about YouTube playlists. Hey everyone. We've received many messages asking why our YouTube playlists aren't showing up. Do we create YouTube playlists? Yes, we absolutely do. So why can't you see them? Honestly, we're not sure. We've been in contact with YouTube support for several months now, but we still haven't received a clear answer or solution. After much discussion, our team has decided to take matters into our own hands. We believe the issue might be related to the number of playlists we've created on a single channel, possibly too many. Our solution? We're launching 2 additional YouTube channels, giving us a total of 3. This way, we can organize our audiobooks better and avoid the playlist visibility issue in the future. This change only affects our YouTube audience. If you're a patron supporter, you can still access all our audiobooks by visiting the collection menu on Patreon. Thanks so much for your time and continued support. Happy listening. Chapter 1. Occupying the SSS level building complex. Look, that guy Lingzhen is running around the girls' dormitory again. There's a perfectly good track, but he chooses to run there instead. What's he doing? Yeah, isn't that kind of creepy? I really don't get it. This is such a turn-off. I'm going to expose him on Xiaongshu. Besides the people nearby, everyone in the girls' dormitory was also staring at the running figure below with strange looks. They all thought Lingzhen was a complete weirdo. Some even suspected he had some kind of fetish and was planning to steal something. In the past few days, many students had been complaining about Lingzhen's behavior on the campus forum. He was even getting cyberbullied to a certain extent. But Lingzhen, who was still running, didn't care about their looks at all. Wiping the sweat off his forehead, he kept going. 3 more laps. Just 3 more laps, and I'll claim this building as my territory. Lingzhen thought to himself. He wasn't some creep like they said. It was because, over 20 days ago, he had awakened a system. And the system had warned him in advance that the apocalypse game would arrive in a month. By then, zombies would appear worldwide, and every place would become a living hell. The system had also given him a crucial piece of information. The only way to claim territory in this apocalypse game was to mark an area by running around it. Naturally, the place he was marking had its reasons. It wasn't because this dormitory housed the only top-tier campus Belle of Magic City University. Nor was it because this building ranked number 1 in the Dragon Nation University rankings for the most beautiful women. It was because, according to the system's assessment, this was the world's only SSS-level top-tier building complex. It was also the only building in the world capable of self-producing supplies. As long as Lingzhen claimed this building as his, no one could enter without his permission. At the same time, the system had revealed some other apocalypse game rules to him. This apocalypse game wouldn't just feature zombies. As time passed, other disasters would occur as well. Extreme cold, torrential rain, scorching heat, and more. If he could secure this building, its development potential would be enough for him to survive these dangers. Ding. 1 lap left. Once completed, the host will officially claim this building complex. Seeing that he was about to take over the building, Lingzhen suddenly felt a burst of energy. He sprinted forward at full speed, finishing the last lap in one go. Congratulations to the host for claiming the world's only SSS-level top-tier building complex. Please name the building complex. Activating rewards for the host, 1 armory, full building surveillance. These rewards will automatically take effect after the apocalypse game begins. After thinking for a moment, Lingzhen named the building, Noah's Arkansas an SSS-level building complex. This name was more than fitting. Naming successful. Opening the Noah's Ark panel for the host. Noah's Ark, building grade, SSS current level, 1 defense level, 1 current population, 1 maximum capacity, 1,000 existing special buildings, 1 super granary, 1 armory, full area surveillance SSS level unique bonuses, super granary with self-producing supplies, can generate food autonomously and store it. Production speed increases as the building level rises, double resource refund for women, resources consumed by women will be refunded at double the rate to the host. Refund multiplier increases with building level, appearance bonus, the higher the attractiveness of recruited residents, the more experience points the building complex gains, cannot be reclaimed by others. Current population is too low. Please recruit more residents as soon as possible. Recruiting residents is the only way to upgrade the building complex. It looked like the building complex could be upgraded further. And its defenses needed upgrading as well. But what surprised Lingzhen the most? Besides the super granary, he also got bonuses where resources consumed by women could be refunded at double the rate, plus an appearance bonus. Did that mean if he recruited more women, provided them with supplies, he could generate even more food? What a fantastic ability. Even a righteous and upright man like him couldn't help but be tempted. It seemed like he would have to reluctantly recruit a variety of top-tier, stunning, and diverse beauties to move in. Thinking of this, Lingzhen felt extremely satisfied. What system could be stronger than his? While others, after learning about the apocalypse, were scrambling to hoard supplies, raid supermarkets, and order banquet-sized feasts, he could just sit back and relax. Right now, it seemed like he had only one task: find suitable residents for his Noah's Ark as soon as possible. Just as he was about to go scouting, 3 people wearing red armbands blocked his path. Lingzhen, this is my last warning. Stop harassing female students under the girls' dormitory. If you don't, I'll report you to the department and have them discipline you. President, why even waste your breath on him? Look at this loser. He even lives off financial aid. What kind of future could he possibly have? A total turn-off? I heard even his classmates make fun of him. The 3 student council members started bombarding him with accusations. All he did was run some laps, and yet they twisted it into harassing female students. Not only that, but even his financial aid was dragged into the conversation. Their arrogance all stemmed from the red armbands they wore. Do you guys even know what the word harassment means? Or does that dog leash on your arms make you feel so powerful that you can slap whatever label you want on people? This wasn't the first time Lingzhen had been warned by them. Once or twice was fine, but now, Lingzhen wasn't going to be polite to these guys anymore. His words instantly turned the student council president, He Dongzheng's, face livid like pig liver. That sentence was the greatest insult to them. Lingzhen, this is my final warning. Your behavior has seriously disrupted the normal lives of other students. If you don't stop, don't blame me for being ruthless. He Dongzheng pointed at Lingzhen's nose, shouting angrily, looking like a dog cornered and about to jump the wall. You're asking for it. Just wait. The vice president, Liu Yao, was also fuming. Lingzhen found it amusing. Ruthless? These guys had been monitoring him all day, posting videos of him running on the campus forum and social media. They even added inflammatory captions, such as, "A man from Magic City University lurks around the girls' dormitory all day, harassing women. When the harassment fails, he flees." And then they attached a video of Lingzhen running. Or, someone has been wandering under the girls' dormitory, reportedly stealing many female students' personal belongings. Everyone, be cautious. It was all He Dongzheng stirring things up, pushing Lingzhen into the spotlight. As for why he was doing this, Lingzhen knew very well. The student council had more female members than male. If He Dongzheng wanted to secure his position as the next president, he had to make it look like he was working for the benefit of the female students. And because of that, Lingzhen became the only victim. Meanwhile, He Dongzheng was praised as a so-called dedicated and responsible president. Lingzhen glanced at the 3 of them and smiled. Do as you please. Then he casually walked away. There were only 3 days left until the apocalypse game arrived. Getting tangled up with these people was a waste of time. The 3 of them stood there dumbfounded, not expecting Lingzhen to be completely unfazed. Then, He Dongzheng's eyes turned vicious as he glared at Lingzhen's back. Did you record the conversation just now? Yes, President. I'll edit it and upload it online later. The next morning, when Lingzhen went to the cafeteria for breakfast, he noticed many people giving him strange looks. He didn't care. Then, he saw his class's reserved and beautiful class monitor, Anran, carrying a tray and sitting down next to him. Chapter 2, The Stunning Class Belle. Lingzhen looked up at Anran, who had her long hair tied up and was wearing pajamas with slippers. Even dressed so casually and without makeup, their class monitor was still incredibly beautiful. Fresh and captivating, to be exact. Though, calling her that felt a bit superficial. Lingzhen, don't get depressed because of the online rumors. They may not believe you, but I trust your character. Anran had recently noticed that Lingzhen was always alone, keeping to himself. As class monitor, she felt it was necessary to have a talk with him. Of course, that wasn't the only reason. A bigger reason was that He Dongzheng had actually pursued her before. After failing to win her over, he started spreading nasty rumors about her on campus. Because of that, she had spent a long time enduring strange looks from others. That period had been so difficult that she had even considered ending her own life, but in the end, she managed to push through. So as someone who had suffered in the same way, she knew exactly what kind of person He Dongzheng was. And Lingzhen was definitely being framed. Looking at the beautiful class monitor in front of him, Lingzhen was a little surprised. He had always been invisible in class and had never interacted with Anran before. Thinking about it, it was most likely their advisor, Rukongai, who had sent her. After all, many university students struggled with mental stress, and there were always news reports about incidents happening at nearby schools. If something happened to him because he couldn't take the pressure, Rukongai would have a huge headache. The only ones who might benefit would be his dorm mates. Getting a free pass for postgraduate recommendations. Class monitor, are you that free? After thinking for a bit, Lingzhen felt this was a decent response. Anran froze. Her? Free? She was really busy, okay? There was still a pile of class matters waiting for her to handle. If she hadn't empathized with Lingzhen and worried he might do something drastic, she wouldn't have come to comfort him. You haven't seen that video the student council posted online? Anran asked while looking at Lingzhen. Lingzhen looked puzzled. What video? He was about to take out his phone to check. Seeing this, Anran quickly stood up and snatched his phone away. If you haven't seen it, then don't. There's nothing worth watching. Out of sight, out of mind. Lingzhen stared at his now empty hands, then at Anran's unrestrained actions, momentarily stunned. Was it really that serious? What, am I going to drop dead if I watch it? Anran also realized she had been too impulsive, and her behavior had drawn the attention of many students around them, who were now whispering and pointing. She quickly returned Lingzhen's phone. Ugh, it's just. Yesterday, when you met with He Dongzheng and Liu Yao. They secretly recorded it and posted it online. So it's better if you don't watch it. They're not good people, and what they posted definitely isn't good either. Anran hurriedly explained, looking at Lingzhen with concern. She was afraid he would feel even worse because of this. However, Lingzhen simply responded with a light "oh" and continued eating. He even took another bite, then looked up at Anran. Class monitor, has anyone ever told you you're pretty cute? One sentence. Anran's brain short-circuited, and her face instantly turned red. Wait. She was worried he'd get depressed, yet this guy was teasing her? But looking at Lingzhen's state of mind, he didn't seem bothered at all. You're fine, that's good. If you ever feel unwell, you can talk to me. I can be your listening ear. That's it. I'm leaving. With that, Anran turned and left. Lingzhen, however, was momentarily stunned. Not because of what Anran had said, but because his pure-hearted class monitor had forgotten to take her food. Just as he was about to remind her, Anran had already left the cafeteria. With no other choice, and holding on to his principle of not wasting food, Lingzhen ended up finishing the meal for his pure-hearted class monitor. Meanwhile, just outside the cafeteria, Anran suddenly remembered. Wait, didn't I just spend 20 yuan on spicy hot pot? After debating for a while, she decided to just go back to her dorm and order delivery instead. She had already walked out. Going back now would be way too embarrassing. As Lingzhen ate, he had the system evaluate how much appearance bonus Anran would bring if she moved into Noah's Arkansas. Anran, appearance level, S-type, pure building bonus, plus 1000 experience, plus 1 defense upgrade point extra bonus, 5x experience, additional 4000 experience. Lingzhen was stunned. That's strong? Not only 5 times the experience, but also a direct defense level up. It looked like Anran was definitely worth considering as a candidate for his building complex. According to what he learned from the system, after the Apocalypse game started, a World Channel and Friends system would appear. He only needed to invite Anran through the Friends system, and she could instantly enter Noah's Arkansas. How convenient was that? Just as Lingzhen happily finished his meal, his phone suddenly rang. It was a call from his advisor, Lu Qinglai. Lingzhen, do you have time right now? Come to the department office. Lu Qinglai's voice sounded urgent, as if there was something really important. Lingzhen thought for a moment and realized he had nothing else to do, so he went straight there. On the way, he specifically opened his phone and took a look at the video He Dongzheng had posted. Yep. Completely taken out of context. They had deliberately cut out only the part where he was cursing. The comment section was filled with personal attacks against him. Each insult was harsher than the last. I'm a cutie, this is seriously such a turn-off? Look at how self-righteous he looks. Can the school just expel him already? Como blossoming leaves, I really don't understand how someone like this even got into our university. So disgusting. Can he just go die already? Sunset rising, I see some people defending the author, but let me ask. No matter how many mistakes the author made, does that mean Lingzhen is completely innocent? If you ask me, he deserves to be cyberbullied. All individuals who have insulted the host have been recorded in the system. The host can access their information through the system. Additionally, this database is linked to the Apocalypse game. Lingzhen was momentarily stunned. He hadn't expected the system to have a function like this. Absolutely insane. When the Apocalypse game arrived, all he had to do was check the World Channel to see who had cyberbullied him before. People like that? Lingzhen definitely wasn't letting them into Noah's Arkansas. Upon arriving at the office, Lingzhen saw Lu Qinglai sitting at her desk, her brows tightly furrowed, her beautiful eyes fixed on the computer screen as if deep in thought. At that moment, the sunlight happened to stream in, casting a perfect glow on her side profile, highlighting her flawless features to the extreme. Lingzhen, standing at the doorway, paused for a second. Their advisor had only started working this year, and their class was the first group of students she was supervising. Her age wasn't much different from theirs. Lingzhen wondered. If the system evaluated Lu Qinglai's appearance, what level would she be? She was probably S rank too, right? Chapter 3, The Predicament of the Most Beautiful Teacher, Lu Qinglai. Just as he was lost in thought, Lu Qinglai noticed Lingzhen at the door and quickly stood up. The pink short skirt she was wearing radiated a youthful energy, making it hard to tell she was a counselor. Back when the semester first started, Lingzhen had once seen Lu Qinglai sitting at the teacher's desk and even went up to remind her. Hey, classmate, that's the teacher's seat. Thinking back on it now, Lingzhen couldn't help but curl his toes in embarrassment. You're here. Have a seat. Lu Qinglai looked at Lingzhen seriously. After he walked in, she closed the office door behind him. Now, the large office had only the two of them inside. Sister Lu, is this about the recent online situation? Before Lu Qinglai even spoke, Lingzhen had already guessed what she wanted to say. She nodded slightly, not confirming but not denying it either. The department has also taken notice of this. It's been spreading quite severely online. What does the department say? At this, Lu Qinglai hesitated slightly, as if finding it difficult to speak. But after a brief struggle, realizing she had no choice, she finally spoke in a rather diplomatic tone. The department's suggestion is for you to write an apology letter and record an apology video. As soon as she finished speaking, perhaps realizing how unreasonable it sounded, she quickly added. But I can talk to the department head and try to convince them to let you just write the apology letter. The video. I think that's a bit too much. Lingzhen's expression turned indescribable. He was so angry he almost laughed. They wanted him to apologize? This was the first time he had seen a victim being asked to apologize. He had done absolutely nothing wrong, yet he was being persecuted by fabricated rumors. And now, they wanted him to publicly admit it? Was this the infamous victim-blaming logic? Sister Lu, do you think this is my fault too? Lingzhen looked at Lu Qinglai and asked. Of course not. Otherwise, I wouldn't be trying to explain the situation to the department for you. It's just that the higher-ups want to resolve this matter as quickly as possible. In truth, she had already tried multiple times to convince the department that Lingzhen wasn't that kind of person. But they didn't seem to care about the facts. Only about how to contain the situation as fast as possible. And in the end, it seemed that Lingzhen was simply the easiest person to sacrifice. Besides, the freshman welcome concert is happening in 2 days. The school doesn't want this incident to blow up too much. Lingzhen was well aware of the upcoming concert. The school had invited several famous celebrities, including Luo Mangekyō, the captain of the newly popular 207 girl group, and Ryuo Yan, hailed as a once-in-a-generation goddess. Coincidentally, the day of the concert was also the day the apocalypse game would arrive. So, I'm just the scapegoat for public opinion? Lu Qinglai fell silent. Even when Lingzhen turned and left without looking back, she didn't say a word. What else could she say? If she had the power to decide, she absolutely wouldn't make Lingzhen write an apology letter. But the problem was, she couldn't control the situation. Later, when she went to speak with the department head, Zhao Xuri, again, he only gave her one sentence. 3 days. If Lingzhen doesn't apologize within 3 days, we'll expel him. Lu Qinglai clenched her fists and glared at Zhao Xuri. At that moment, she was furious. But in the end, she still didn't voice her anger. She sighed in defeat. And she never mentioned this decision to Lingzhen. After leaving the department building, Lingzhen went to the campus supermarket, staring at it in thought. System, if I claim the supermarket, can I directly move it into Noah's Ark? It was true that Noah's Ark could produce food on its own. But Lingzhen felt it wouldn't hurt to stock up on some extra snacks and other supplies. The host can move any objects within their claimed territory freely. Alternatively, the host can convert the area into experience points and merge it into the main building complex. Once converted, the area will no longer belong to anyone, including the host. Hearing this, Lingzhen's interest was piqued. This could work. He didn't care who owned the supermarket, and if converting it meant no one else could claim it, that was even better. More importantly, using this method, not only could he monopolize all the food on campus, he could also convert every surrounding building into experience points. And by doing so, he would make Noah's Ark the only top-tier upgradable building complex in the area. Because according to the system, buildings that can't be claimed cannot be upgraded. And if they can't be upgraded, they won't have any defense against zombies. So the plan was simple. Step by step, convert every part of the school into experience points. System, how many laps do I need to claim the supermarket? Target area quality is B grade, requiring 12 laps. Since it was only B grade, it required far fewer laps compared to when he claimed Noah's Arkansas back then. It had taken him a whopping 108 laps. Although 12 laps didn't sound like much. Once the apocalypse arrived, even running a single lap would become extremely difficult. Without hesitation, Lingzhen immediately started running around the supermarket. Once again, this scene attracted a lot of attention and whispering. But Lingzhen ignored them and kept running. Right now, you're all pointing fingers at me. In 2 days, you'll regret it. Soon, after about an hour, Lingzhen successfully claimed the supermarket as his territory. Congratulations. You have acquired a B-grade area. Please name this area. You have received an additional reward, Resource Domination. Resource Domination absorbs all food within a 10-kilometer radius, activated upon the Apocalypse Game's arrival. At first, Lingzhen thought this was just a normal land claim. But when he saw the Resource Domination ability, he was completely stunned. This ability, isn't his way too overpowered? This was absolute monopoly power. Once the Apocalypse Game began, he would become the food god of this entire region. System, if I convert the supermarket into experience points, will the Resource Domination ability still be retained in Noah's Ark? Lingzhen quickly asked. If the ability couldn't be retained, then he'd have to wait until the Apocalypse Game arrived before converting it. Host, all occupied areas that are converted will have their abilities transferred to the designated building complex. Lingzhen's face lit up with joy. Then convert the supermarket into experience points for Noah's Ark. B-grade area successfully converted. Experience gained, 3,000. Ability, Resource Domination successfully transferred. Congratulations, host. Noah's Ark has been upgraded to level 2. You have received 3 allocation points. Allocation points could be used to upgrade various aspects of Noah's Ark or construct new facilities. For example, upgrading Noah's Ark's level 1 defense required 3 allocation points. Expanding a power generation area required 1 allocation point. A water resource production area also required 1 allocation point, and so on. After a brief hesitation, Lingzhen decided to use all 3 allocation points to increase defense. Congratulations, host. Noah's Ark's defense level has been upgraded to level 2. Current defense is sufficient to easily repel level 1 zombies. Level 2 zombies will also be unable to break through. Lingzhen wasn't worried about supplies at the start of the apocalypse. So upgrading defense first was the best choice. After completing the upgrade, Lingzhen was in a great mood. His next goal was now crystal clear. Convert every building on campus into experience points to upgrade Noah's Arkansas at the same time. He needed to scout for high attractiveness women, as they would be key to further upgrading Noah's Ark in the future. At that moment, other students nearby saw Lingzhen grinning and couldn't help but shake their heads, laughing mockingly. This guy's got to be mentally ill, right? First, he was wandering around the girls' dorms, and now he's just sitting there grinning. Looks like the internet was right. He's definitely not normal. Let's go, we should stay away from him. Lingzhen ignored them completely, strolling leisurely away from the supermarket. Then, he started running laps around the cafeteria. The school had 5 cafeterias, and Lingzhen wasn't planning to let a single one slip through his grasp. However, after fully claiming just 1 cafeteria, he was already gasping for breath. At this rate, once the apocalypse game arrived, he wouldn't be able to finish claiming all of them. That won't do. System, does it have to be me running the laps? Can't I just hire someone else to run for me? Lingzhen couldn't help but ask. Previously, he had already tried asking the system if he could ride an electric scooter to claim land. But the system had rejected the idea, saying that every step must be taken by human feet. At the time, he had lamented how strict this game was. Not even a single loophole allowed. It is possible, but the runner must be a registered resident of your building complex and must be willing to run on your behalf. This stumped Lingzhen. How is that going to work? The game hasn't even started yet, so where was he supposed to find people to register as Noah's Ark residents? After all, the friend system hadn't been unlocked yet. Just as Lingzhen was about to give up on the idea, the system suddenly offered another option. There is one more way. The host can have someone run laps through a contract agreement. A contract? Hearing this, Lingzhen was stunned. As he was still processing the information, the system took advantage of the empty surroundings and generated a contract document in his hands. Signing this contract will officially register the signee as a resident of the host's building complex. Lingzhen quickly glanced over the contract. It was filled with various terms and conditions, and at the bottom, Party A, Noah's Ark Party B, blank. Most of the contract clauses were restrictions placed on the signee. Seeing that this was promising, Lingzhen immediately asked the system to generate a few more copies. Then, he headed straight to the track field. Sitting down, he placed a sign next to him. On it, he wrote, looking for DD runners. 100 per lap. However, before he could get his first runner, an unexpected person showed up. His ex-girlfriend. Damn it. Hueco, look. Isn't that your ex-boyfriend? What's he doing squatting there? He didn't go running under our dorm today? One of Hueco's best friends pointed at Lingzhen and laughed. Hueco, on the other hand, looked at Lingzhen with disgust. She walked up to him with a scornful expression. Lingzhen, I'm not interested in you anymore. Can you stop running under our dorm every day to pester me? You don't actually think that pretending to be all hardworking and motivated will make me look at you differently, do you? Hueco was well aware of Lingzhen's little tricks. A broke loser simp. Always doing self-satisfying acts that he thought would impress others. Chapter 4, Have you seen Batman? He's looking for you all over the street. Lingzhen looked at Hueco as if she were an idiot. Did this woman get kicked in the head by a donkey? Running for you? This was like cutting an ass with a small knife. An eye-opener. If she were even half as good-looking as Anran, he wouldn't say anything. But looking like this and still being this confident. See that guy cosplaying Batman over there? Lingzhen pointed at a member of the anime club behind her. Hueco froze, confused by what he meant. You think if you act as confidently as him, I'll get back together with you? Dream on, Lingzhen. Lingzhen looked at Hueco with pure disdain. No, I was just saying. You should go check. Maybe he's looking for you all over the street. The moment these words landed, Hueco was stunned for a second before realizing what he meant. Her face immediately turned red with anger. One of Hueco's best friends, who loved stirring the pot, whispered with a smirk. Yun, he is calling you the Joker. That only made things worse. Hueco got even angrier. I don't need you to remind me. Just as Hueco was about to start cursing, she suddenly noticed the sign next to Lingzhen. Looking for DD runners. 100 per lap? Hueco remembered that Lingzhen was a broke loser who used to be too stingy to even eat properly. And now he was willing to pay people to run for him? At that moment, an idea for revenge popped into her mind. As long as she gathered a ton of people to run for Lingzhen. If too many people showed up and things spiraled out of control, Lingzhen would bleed money dry. With so many people watching, he wouldn't be able to back out even if he wanted to. So, Hueco let out a smug humphrey at Lingzhen, then took a photo of the sign before walking away with her friend, looking proud of herself. However, they didn't actually leave. Instead, they sat mysteriously on the nearby grass. Every now and then, they'd glance at their phones and sneak looks at Lingzhen, giggling. Lingzhen found it odd. What the hell is this woman up to? After waiting a while and seeing that no one had come, Lingzhen was about to pack up and leave. But suddenly, a huge crowd swarmed onto the track field. And they were all heading straight for him. Lingzhen froze mid-movement. Look. This must be the place. This is the free money job Hueco posted in the part-time group, right? Wait, why is it Lingzhen? Wasn't this guy already shunned by the whole school? I'm not taking his money. Who cares? If anything, people like him deserve to have their money squeezed dry. Let's make him go bankrupt. Meanwhile, Hueco had moved closer to enjoy the show. She wanted to see how Lingzhen would handle this mess. Seeing that some people were still hesitating, she fanned the flames even more. Come on, everyone. Sign up. 100 per lap. This kind of easy money doesn't come around often. I'm telling you, Lingzhen is loaded. The more you run, the more he'll pay you. After saying that, Hueco coldly smirked at Lingzhen. With this many people, there was no way Lingzhen wouldn't lose everything. At this point, Lingzhen finally understood. So many people showing up at once was definitely Hueco's doing. This woman wanted to bankrupt him. But the apocalypse game was arriving soon. What the hell is money going to be worth then? Soon, even 10,000 yuan wouldn't buy you a pack of instant noodles. A woman wouldn't even be worth a pack of biscuits. At first, many people didn't want to come because of Lingzhen's reputation. But now, thanks to Hueco, she had actually helped him out big time. Then, someone stepped forward to ask. A sports student wearing a school team tracksuit. You serious about this? 100 per lap? You're not scamming us, right? His name was Liu Yang, a certified national-level athlete. When it came to running laps, he could easily run Lingzhen into bankruptcy. 100% real. Sign this contract, run the laps I tell you, and you'll get paid. If I scam you, I'll pay you tenfold in compensation. Lingzhen said confidently. Liu Yang picked up the contract and gave it a quick read. And instantly froze. What the hell is all this nonsense? What's with all this talk about territory transfer and claiming land? The more he read, the more he was convinced. This dude's brain is fried. Fine, I'll test the waters first. Liu Yang grabbed a pen and signed his name on the contract. As soon as the system confirmed the contract, Lingzhen immediately assigned him a location. Go run 20 laps around the sports arena. I'll pay you all at once after you finish. Liu Yang frowned. 20 laps? And only getting paid after? How do I know you're not scamming me? What if I finish and you fucking run off? He wasn't an idiot. You can also come back after every lap to collect payment. Lingzhen shrugged, completely unfazed. After all, every lap counted toward his progress. Even if someone quit halfway, he could always get another runner to pick up where they left off. Fine. But I'm warning you. Don't try to play me, or you'll regret it. With that, Liu Yang took off running toward the sports arena. The arena track was about 400 meters per lap. Liu Yang finished a lap in just a little over a minute. The moment he completed one lap, Lingzhen's system notification popped up in his head. Sports arena. Grade, A. Progress, 1 out of 20. Alright, kid. I finished a lap. Pay up. Liu Yang wiped his sweat and shoved his payment QR code in front of Lingzhen's face. As if daring him to back out, right then and there, he signaled everyone to surround Lingzhen. The crowd fixed their eyes on Lingzhen, eager to see what he would do. Zhu Hu also sneered, certain that Lingzhen would try to weasel out of it. But Lingzhen calmly pulled out his phone and scanned the payment. 100 yuan sent instantly. The moment the payment went through, everyone was stunned. Even Liu Yang had been fully expecting Lingzhen to default on the payment. Given Lingzhen's horrible reputation and the fact that he seemed mentally unstable, refusing to pay would have been totally in character. But he hadn't expected Lingzhen to pay so straightforwardly. You can keep running. Lingzhen casually looked at Liu Yang and said. Only then did Liu Yang snap out of his daze. Looking at the 100 yuan in his account, he suddenly felt a rush of excitement. He had never realized making money could be this easy. Without hesitation, he took off like a madman, sprinting with everything he had. 20 laps. That's 2,000 yuan in one go. At this point, the rest of the crowd completely lost it. They swarmed around Lingzhen's table, all desperate to sign up. I want to run too. I run every day. I'm super fast. Me too. I'm from the sports academy. Pick me. Pick me. One by one, contract after contract was signed. Lingzhen efficiently assigned each person their designated task. In the blink of an eye, 15 runners were already spread across campus, claiming territory for him. Once most of the runners had taken off, Zhu Hu mocked Lingzhen. Lingzhen, do you even know how much this is going to cost with this many people? I can't wait to see you go broke and humiliate yourself. Lingzhen, completely unfazed, looked at Zhu Hu. That's none of your concern. Oh, and by the way, thanks for the free advertising. Oh yeah, I still need another runner. You interested? Lingzhen wasn't worried at all. Between the money his parents left him, he still had 500,000 yuan in savings. He could easily afford to pay for this. The only reason he had been so frugal before was because his parents were gone, and he had no one else to rely on. He had to be smart about his future. But now, money was about to become worthless. Might as well spend it while it still had value. Hearing this, Zhu Hu looked at him with utter disdain. You actually think I'd let you order me around for 100 yuan? Let me tell you something, Lingzhen. I have a boyfriend now. He's a rich second-generation heir. His family is loaded. See this designer handbag. He bought it for me. It cost tens of thousands. As she spoke, Zhu Hu flaunted her handbag proudly. Lingzhen took one look at the bag and burst into laughter. Back when he was hustling for money, he had done some shady business selling counterfeit goods. With just one glance, he could tell. That bag was fake. What an idiot. You might want to get it checked at a brand store. Because from what I'm seeing, it looks like something from a street stall. That sentence immediately sent Zhu Hu into a rage. Lingzhen, just admit it. You're jealous. You're bitter. You'll never be a rich man in your life. Lingzhen, seeing that Zhu Hu refused to accept reality, just chuckled helplessly. At that moment, another person appeared in front of Lingzhen's stall. You still looking for runners? The second that voice fell, Zhu Hu's entire body froze stiff. She stared at the person like her soul had left her body. Chapter 5, Kinky Style. Zhao Ridi, what are you doing here? When Zhao Ridi saw Zhu Hu, he completely froze. Xiaoyun, you. Why are you here? Listen to me. I was just asking for my dorm mate. I have so much money. Why would I need to run for someone else? After saying that, Zhao Ridi forced out an awkward smile. Lingzhen immediately realized what was going on. So this was Zhu Hu's so-called rich second-generation boyfriend. He looked at Zhu Hu with great interest. At this moment, Zhu Hu's face turned completely red with anger. Looking at the fake designer bag in her hands, how could she not realize the truth now? The bag was fake. Zhao Ridi being a rich second-generation heir was also fake. If he were really rich, Why would he be trying to make money from Lingzhen? The more Zhuhui thought about it, the more wrong she felt. She had begged Zhao Ridi for this bag, and in return, she had spent 3 days and 3 nights trying out all sorts of new tricks with him. She had been tossed around, treated like a toy. And in the end, she got a knockoff A-grade counterfeit bag. Not only that, after getting the bag, she had flaunted it all over her dorm building. And now, looking back, she had never been more of a clown in her life. Just then, she suddenly felt someone poke her on the back. She turned around. It was the guy cosplaying Batman from earlier. "Hey, classmate. Our club is hosting an event, and congrats. You've been randomly chosen by me from the crowd. As a reward, I can get lost." Zhuhua's face turned completely livid, her skin darkening like pig liver. Batman was dumbfounded. "Damn, if you don't want to join, just say so. Why get so mad? What a crazy woman." So he turned around and left. Lingzhen couldn't hold back his laughter anymore. Oh man. This is too good. The clown really did get found by Batman. Xiaohui. Listen to me. This isn't what you think. Zhuhui ripped off her bag and threw it straight at Zhao Ridi's face. Then, she lunged at him, ready to start an all-out fight. Zhao Ridi dodged frantically, then sprinted away like a rabbit, disappearing in an instant, leaving Zhuhui standing there, crying bitterly. At that moment, someone stepped in front of her. Zhuhui looked up. It was Lingzhen. "Lingzhen. Why, you still love me, don't you? You came to comfort me, right?" After being betrayed, Zhuhui suddenly remembered all the good things about Lingzhen. Even though he was poor, at least he had treated her well before. Lingzhen looked down at her. "Move your crying somewhere else. You're blocking my stall." Zhuhui's mental state completely collapsed. "Xiaohui, don't be sad. They're just a bunch of trashy men. Just wait until all those runners finish and come back for their money. Let's see how he handles that." Zhuhui's best friend planted a seed of revenge in her mind. She wanted to see Lingzhen break down and despair. That way, she would finally feel better about herself. Not long after, some of the runners from lower grade areas started returning to submit their tasks. Lingzhen efficiently paid them all on the spot. In just a few minutes, he had already paid over 3,000 yuan. At the same time, the system notifications kept popping up in his head. "Congratulations. Successfully claimed C-grade area, teaching building, congratulations. Successfully claimed D-grade area, bathroom, congratulations. Successfully claimed C-grade area, male dormitory, sports arena. Grade A, progress, 16 out of 20, library. Grade A, progress, 12 out of 20. Damn. It feels amazing having people work for you." On the side, Zhuhui frowned deeply. She saw how Lingzhen paid without hesitation. Where the hell did this guy get so much money? Relax. This is just the small change. Once the big payments come in, he'll be completely done for. Hearing this, Zhuhui felt reassured. As time passed, more high-grade areas like the sports arena and library were also successfully claimed. The runners came back one after another to collect their payments. Each of them needed at least 2,000 yuan. And with 7 or 8 people returning at once, that meant over 10,000 yuan in a single payout. Don't think I don't know that you don't actually have this much money, Lingzhen. You paid people to run just to make it seem like you're not the only idiot on campus, right? Spending a little money at first, then scamming the rest. What a clever scheme. In the end, when you run out of money, no one will be able to do anything to you. After all, you're already the biggest loser in everyone's eyes. Zhuhui was fully convinced she had exposed Lingzhen's plan. The other runners hesitated for a moment. Thinking about it, what Zhuhui said kinda made sense. "Kid, so that's what you were planning. If you dare scam me, I'll beat the shit out of you. No wonder people were giving me weird looks earlier. You made us run so that we'd become the new idiots on campus." Zhuhui sneered confidently at Lingzhen. Finally, she felt a little better. As long as someone else suffered worse than her, she felt satisfied. She wanted things to blow up even more. In the best-case scenario, Lingzhen would get beaten up. Serves him right. Serves him right for treating me like that earlier. Serves him right for humiliating me. This is what he deserves. However, just as she was eagerly waiting for Lingzhen to make a fool of himself, Lingzhen calmly pulled out his phone and started scanning one payment after another. Payment received, 2,000 yuan. Payment received, 1,600 yuan. Payment received, 1,200 yuan. Payment received. The continuous payment received notifications shattered Zhuhui's illusions. How is this possible? Where did this broke loser Lingzhen get so much money? And why was he spending it like crazy? Had he lost his mind? Despair consumed her. In the end, She was the only one left suffering in this world. But Hyuga knew how much she had actually helped Lingzhen after the apocalypse game arrived. She would go completely insane. After settling all payments, Lingzhen didn't spare Hyuga a single glance. Satisfied, he packed up and left. Meanwhile, those who got paid were grinning ear to ear, sneaking glances at Lingzhen's back. What an idiot. His brain really isn't normal. Too bad we can only scam him once. If only we could do it again. In times like these, dumbasses like Lingzhen are rare. After leaving the track field, Lingzhen returned to his private dorm. Ever since he was ostracized by everyone, he had paid extra to move into a single-person dorm. Sitting down, he opened the system panel and reviewed the areas he had just claimed. A total of 15 locations. Basically, he had claimed every building on campus. Except for the pigpen at the School of Biology. After all, he wasn't that heartless, right? With so many students on campus, he had to leave them at least one place to survive after the apocalypse arrived. Skimming through the newly acquired areas, he noticed something. High-tier zones came with powerful bonuses. For example, the A-grade sports arena had a top-tier physique bonus, never get tired. Seeing this, Lingzhen couldn't help but laugh. Did he even need this? Absolutely. Without hesitation, Lingzhen converted the sports arena into experience points, securing the bonus for himself. A-grade sports arena successfully converted. Gained 5,000 DXP. Bonus acquired, top-tier physique. Congratulations. Noah's Ark has reached level 3. Gained 3 allocation points. A-grade areas gave a massive amount of experience. But as Noah's Ark leveled up, the EXP requirement skyrocketed. To upgrade from level 3 to level 4, he now needed 10,000 EXP. No hesitation. Lingzhen converted all remaining claimed areas into experience points. A-grade library successfully converted. Gained 5,000 EXP. Bonus acquired, EXP doubler. Extra 5,000 EXP obtained. B-grade park successfully converted. Gained 3,000 EXP. Bonus acquired, ultimate comfort environment. C-grade male dormitory successfully converted. After converting everything, Lingzhen had gained 27,000 EXP. Noah's Ark leveled up to 4 instantly. And was now just 3,000 EXP away from level 5. At the same time, he unlocked several powerful bonuses. For example, ultimate comfort environment. After the apocalypse, the global environment would rapidly deteriorate. Zombies everywhere, rotting corpses, the stench of death filling the streets. Even inside Noah's Ark, the conditions would be affected. But with this bonus, he never had to worry about it. Another bonus. Luxury interior design. It allowed him to completely redesign Noah's Ark, transforming it into the ultimate living space. At first glance, it might seem useless. But in reality, it was incredibly important. While others would be struggling to survive, Lingzhen would be living in pure luxury. If only I could see what Noah's Ark actually looks like right now. Lingzhen sighed. After all, he couldn't exactly barge into the girls' dormitory to check it out. Generating holographic projection for the host. The host can freely modify the building layout using the hologram. While he was still processing what he just heard, a 3D holographic model of Noah's Ark suddenly appeared in front of him. He could zoom in and out freely and observe every single detail of the building's layout. All 7 floors, crystal clear. This doesn't count as spying on the girls' dormitory, right? I'm just checking on my Noah's Ark. Saw Lingzhen grin wildly with excitement. Through the hologram, he saw the super granary and armory on the first floor. He also noticed the countless security cameras spread throughout the entire complex. Unlike normal surveillance, Lingzhen didn't even need to go to a monitoring room. With just a thought, the system could instantly display footage from any camera directly into his mind. After roughly exploring the layout, Lingzhen got a good understanding of Noah's Ark and saw floor layout: first floor, 6-person dorm; second floor, 4-person dorms; third floor, 2-person dorms; fourth floor, single-person dorms; 5th plus floors, luxury single-person suites. The tiered design actually gave him an idea. He could assign rooms based on attractiveness. The higher the beauty, the better the floor they lived on. After all, the system could evaluate attractiveness with just a quick scan. He couldn't even begin to imagine how it would feel once the entire building was filled with women. And everything was under his control. System, can I activate luxury interior design and modify the layout now? Yes. Lingzhen's excitement grew. After activating luxury interior design, the system presented several themes to choose from. Lingzhen selected minimalist style. But he also made custom adjustments to several rooms on each floor. Chapter 6, Meeting and ran at the track at the same time. Lingzhen placed his luxury residence on the top floor, and even transformed the rooftop into a luxury swimming pool, while the restaurant was located on the 6th floor. Inside the entire Noah's Ark, top-tier audio-visual rooms, game rooms, a super restaurant, a billiard hall, a gym, and other facilities were all available. The most critical core buildings, such as the super granary and the armory, were set up in separate rooms on the same floor as Lingzhen's residence. He also left some rooms vacant, planning to expand further in the future. Layout complete. Once the apocalypse game descends, these will instantly cover the original building complex. Then, Lingzhen noticed that after upgrading to level 5, he gained an additional 9 allocation points to use. However, he didn't rush to use them. After all, he still didn't know what would truly be important once the apocalypse game actually appeared. And the system also said, the most crucial thing right now is finding the right people to move in. Although he could let a lot of people in, and by then, no one would refuse, he had no idea what kind of freaks or outcasts might come in. If too many people moved in at once, managing them would become inconvenient. So, he needed to carefully select candidates first. Right now, he already had a few targets in mind. Class Belle, and Ran. Their advisor, Rukongai. And the 2 key celebrities attending the freshman welcome concert the night after tomorrow. The captain of 207 girl group, Mangekyō, and the once-in-a-lifetime goddess, Hyuga. Their attractiveness was undoubtedly top tier. And the bonuses they would bring were the highest as well. As Lingzhen was making his calculations, a sudden urgent alarm rang in his mind. Danger foresight. Danger foresight. Alert. As the main area for Stage 1 of the Apocalypse Zombie Invasion, Mundo will randomly generate a zombie king. Host, please prepare accordingly. Seeing this message, Lingzhen was dumbfounded. The zombies had just arrived, and there was already going to be a zombie king? If it spawned near his Noah's Ark, wouldn't that be a huge problem? Damn. System, what level is the zombie king? He asked hurriedly. He had to understand it in advance to prepare properly. The initial zombie king will have level 3 strength. Additionally, the zombie king will cause nearby zombies to go berserk and increase by 1 level. Lingzhen sucked in a breath. Level 3. Not too bad. He could immediately upgrade the defense of Noah's Ark to level 3. However, just defending wasn't a solution either. He needed to enhance his firepower. That way, he could clear out some zombies. In fact, this didn't sound like entirely bad news. The more dangerous the outside world was, the more valuable his Noah's Ark would be. By then, people would be begging to enter his territory. Just then, Lingzhen suddenly received a voice call. The caller wasn't anyone else. It was Anran. What did the class monitor want with him now? Well, since he was planning to bring Anran into Noah's Ark later, getting closer to her now wasn't a bad idea. After all, this class monitor was pretty cute. Lingzhen, are you okay? A familiar, sweet voice came from the other end. But the content of the question confused him a bit. He was perfectly fine. Why would something be wrong? I'm great, class monitor. That spicy hot pot of yours was really good. Next time, I'll treat you. Anran froze for a second before remembering the spicy hot pot she had left in the cafeteria. She never expected him to actually eat it. That spicy hot pot. She had already eaten a few bites of it. In an instant, Anran's face turned red. But remembering the real reason she had called, she quickly changed the topic. What spicy hot pot? I called to ask why you were handing out money at the track. A lot of people are saying you've gone crazy, so I wanted to check if you're okay. Anran had already been worried that cyberbullying might make Lingzhen depressed. And just now, she had seen posts about him on the campus forum. They said Lingzhen was paying people to run laps, offering 100 yuan per lap. At first, she didn't believe it, thinking it was just another rumor. But when she saw the attached photos and the receipt screenshots with Lingzhen's profile picture, she was stunned. It really was him. Oh, that? The school has weekly running requirements, right? I just got someone to run mine for the whole year, Lingzhen said casually, making up an obviously contradictory excuse. What? Anran was completely shocked. Is that something a normal person would do? Lingzhen, are you free tonight? Want to take a walk at the track and clear your mind a bit? Anran hesitated before suggesting. She was genuinely worried that if this continued, Lingzhen might do something dangerous. After all, this behavior was already a little not normal. Sure, see you tonight. Just as he hung up, Lingzhen received another call from Rukongai. Before this, Rukongai had already called him 7 or 8 times, but they got cut off because the line was busy. As soon as he picked up, Rukongai's slightly agitated voice came through. Lingzhen. You finally answered. Don't worry. I've taken care of everything with the academy. I guarantee they won't make you write an apology letter or post an apology video. I swear on my honor as a teacher. Lu Qinglai's elegant voice rattled off an entire speech in one breath. Lingzhen almost forgot to breathe just listening to her. Sister Lu, I'm fine. You don't have to. I know you're fine. Don't worry, I won't let anything happen to you. Lu Qinglai cut him off immediately, her tone so firm it was as if she was ready to go to war. After that, she went on to counsel him for a while before finally ending the call. Lingzhen let out a bitter laugh. Maybe it really was because paying people to run laps was too bizarre that Lu Qinglai got so worked up and worried about him. He opened the campus forum for a look. Many people were mocking his weirdo behavior. Nanbai doesn't know. Does anyone know if this idiot will be at the track again tomorrow? No reason not to take free money. National servers #1 Mahjong, damn, I saw this in the part-time job group earlier and thought it was a scam. Didn't expect this idiot to actually be serious. Guang Yue, a few thousand yuan at once. Do you guys think this idiot will be sent to a mental hospital in a few days? Isn't that how crazies act? Always doing bizarre things. Besides that, Lingzhen also saw a comment from Zhuhua. Soft and sweet cutie, I'm Lingzhen's ex-girlfriend. From the moment we got together, I felt he wasn't normal. Not only is he dumb, but he always does weird things. And he's super scummy. He liked other girls even when he was with me. Not just that, he's really extreme. He hits people when he gets angry. Woo wah woo, everyone, please stay away from him. Zhuhua's comment instantly gained everyone's sympathy. A lot of people were comforting her below. As for what she said, it was obviously made up to get back at Lingzhen. But right now, public opinion was completely attacking Lingzhen. No one cared whether what she said was true or not. The onlookers only wanted to see the content they were looking for. Seeing all this, Lingzhen chuckled softly. Silently, he had the system record these people down. Hopefully, when the apocalypse game arrives, they'll still be cursing like this. The sky darkened. After dinner, Lingzhen went to the track as promised and met Anran. Seeing him, Anran visibly breathed a sigh of relief. Clearly, she had been worried she wouldn't see Lingzhen. As long as you're okay. I've always been fine, class monitor. Lingzhen sighed helplessly. It felt like a crazy person saying they weren't crazy. Alright, of course you're fine. Today's sun is so round. Trying not to make things seem too deliberate, Anran pretended to casually look up at the night sky. The sun? Chapter 7, never seen a request like this. Anran's face turned red with embarrassment, but luckily, it was nighttime, so no one could see. She quickly changed the topic. She had prepared a lot of things to talk about with Lingzhen. Lingzhen, have you read Inferiority and Transcendence? You should check it out when you have time, it's really interesting. Lingzhen found it hard to associate a serious psychology book with the word interesting. Honestly, I still prefer reading power fantasy novels on Yangshizi. I'm just a simple guy. I love this kind of stuff, Lingzhen said without holding back. With all the school pressure, he needed something light and entertaining to read. But this was an area Anran knew nothing about. Still, in order to have something to talk about with Lingzhen and to try and help him, she pretended to know what she was talking about. Oh. Power fantasy novels. I actually know a thing or two about that genre. It's a pretty interesting literary movement, but I just can't seem to remember who founded it. Lingzhen was completely dumbfounded. Was she even talking about the same thing? Since when was there a literary movement called power fantasy literature? Class monitor, why are you so concerned about me? No one cares about someone who has nothing to do with them, right? Especially a fool, Lingzhen asked, looking at Anran seriously. Most people, when faced with public opinion, would conform to avoid standing out. Even if they felt something was wrong, they'd instinctively go along with the crowd rather than show it. But Anran didn't seem to care about that. Faced with Lingzhen's question, Anran hesitated. After a moment of internal struggle, she made up her mind and decided to open up about her past experiences. Sometimes, the best way to help someone is to share how you overcame your own difficult times. When Lingzhen heard that Anran had also been pursued by Hidongzhen, and that after rejecting him, she became the target of disgusting rumors, he clenched his fists tightly. That bastard. Absolutely disgusting. No wonder Anran was worried about him. She was empathizing with him. And just then, speak of the devil. Hidongzhen and Liu Yao happened to be walking on the track as well, and they ran right into each other. When Hidongzhen saw Lingzhen and Anran walking together, his expression darkened. The girl he had desperately pursued was now taking a stroll with Lingzhen. The guy the entire school mocked? Everyone knew that if a guy and a girl were walking alone together on the track at night, it was only a matter of time before they got together. That thought made Hidongzhen extremely unhappy. He was the student council president, admired by everyone. How was he any worse than this guy? Anran, how can you be with someone like him? Don't you know he's not right in the head? Aren't you afraid he might suddenly do something inappropriate to you? Of course, Dongjin wasn't about to miss the chance to put Lingzhen down. But Liu Yao, standing beside him, was also full of jealousy. She had been chasing after Dongjin, and she knew full well that he used to go after Anran. So, subconsciously, she saw Anran as a rival. Dongjin, they're the same kind of trash. One's an idiot, and the other's a loose woman. Why are you even wasting your breath on them? Liu Yao looked at Anran with disdain, using the rumors about her to attack. Her words hit Anran's sore spot. They brought back memories of her darkest days. Just as she was about to refute, Lingzhen turned to her with a slightly puzzled expression. Class monitor, do your legs hurt? Legs. Hurt? Anran was confused. Yeah, I feel like I just got bitten by a dog. The next second, Anran, who had been confused just moments ago, burst into laughter. Meanwhile, Dongjin and Liu Yao's faces turned green with rage. With a mouth like that, no wonder people mock you. Dongjin snapped, his anger boiling over. You disgusting bitch, no wonder you two are together. But just as those filthy words left his mouth, a sudden gust of wind hit his right cheek. A moment later, a fist the size of a sandbag slammed into his face. The punch knocked him off balance, sending him sprawling onto the track. Coincidentally, a group of runners happened to pass by and accidentally stepped on his face a few times. Hey! You can't just lie down on the track. You trying to get trampled? Dongjin never expected Lingzhen to actually hit him. His head was spinning, stars dancing before his eyes as he struggled to stand up. You actually dared to hit me at school, Lingzhen. Liu Yao pointed at Lingzhen, her voice sharp. Lingzhen casually rubbed his knuckles. Weren't you guys the ones running your mouths first? But at that moment, instead of getting angry, Dongjin, now sporting a swollen face, actually laughed. Good hit. Come on, give me two more. He knew that fighting on campus meant disciplinary action at best and expulsion or even detention at worst. A few bruises were a small price to pay if it meant getting Lingzhen severely punished. Lingzhen chuckled. He had never seen a request like this before. So, he obliged. Delivering two more punches, one to the left side of Dongjin's face and one straight to the center, making sure it was nice and even. How considerate. The blows completely dazed Dongjin, and he rolled on the ground in pain. Realizing that he might not be able to take much more but refusing to back down, he stubbornly said, if you've got guts, hit her too. Liu Yao had just reached out to help Dongjin and was about to call an ambulance. But before she could react, he suddenly pointed at her and said that, leaving her completely stunned. She turned her head, thinking Lingzhen wouldn't possibly hit her. She was a woman, after all. But before she could process it, a loud smack echoed through the air. Her head jerked to the side as a slap landed square on her face, almost twisting her neck. Lingzhen was momentarily stunned. Because he wasn't the one who did it. It was Anran. Anran looked at her slightly stinging palm, her expression a mix of nervousness and exhilaration. Her body trembled slightly, but deep down, she felt incredibly satisfied. If we're fighting, then we're fighting together. If we're getting punished, then we're getting punished together. We have to stand up against campus bullying and cyberbullying. Her voice, trembling yet full of determination, made Lingzhen burst into laughter. Don't just stand there, class monitor. Run before someone catches us. Lingzhen grabbed Anran's hand and sprinted off the track. They didn't stop until they reached a small pavilion in the park. Anran smoothed her wind-blown hair, still reminiscing about that slap. It was the first time she had ever hit someone. Lingzhen gazed at her, and under the moonlight, her profile looked breathtakingly beautiful. Unable to resist, he gently pulled her trembling body into his arms. The small figure in his embrace trembled for a moment but then gradually relaxed, as if savoring this brief moment of comfort. Lingzhen, do you think we'll get expelled? Even though that slap felt great, Anran was worried about how it might affect her future at school. Lingzhen chuckled. Expelled? The apocalypse was in 2 days. Who would care about that? If he weren't worried about getting locked up and missing his chance to act when the apocalypse game arrived, he would have hit them even harder. Class monitor, I was the only one who threw punches. What does this have to do with you, a bystander? Anran broke away from his embrace, tears glistening in her eyes. No, I won't let you take the blame alone. Before she could finish, Lingzhen gently covered her mouth. He looked up at the night sky. Class monitor, look. The sun is really round tonight. Anran laughed. Lingzhen laughed too. Chapter 8, Lu Qinglai clears Lingzhen's name the next morning. As expected, Lingzhen was reported to the department by Dongjin. It even escalated to the point where the campus security officers got involved. But since the place where Lingzhen had hit him was a surveillance blind spot, it would take time to gather evidence, so they didn't give him a hard time just yet. Lingzhen, just you wait. In less than 2 days, I'll find witnesses. By then, your life will be ruined. He Dongzhen glared at Lingzhen, his pig-like face wrapped in bandages. Lingzhen, however, just smiled cheerfully. You're right, he Dongzhen. In less than 2 days. Back on campus, he happened to pass by the extracurricular center, where the dance club was rehearsing. In the crowd, his eyes instantly locked onto an exceptionally stunning figure. Campus Belle, Mangekyō. She wore a ponytail, her delicate oval face perfectly proportioned, with a straight nose and balanced features. Especially her large, dark, and mesmerizing eyes. No matter when you looked at her, you'd be deeply captivated. Even though she was wearing the club's standard dance dress, she effortlessly stood out among the crowd. That ethereal aura, her every movement exuding grace. It was like watching a celestial being. Just one look, and Lingzhen made an unprecedented decision. He had to get her to join Noah's Ark. Mangekyō was used to being the center of attention. Whether rehearsing or performing, she always had a large audience drawn solely by her presence. But today, when she noticed Lingzhen staring at her from within the crowd, she felt oddly uncomfortable. She had seen this guy before. On the internet and on the campus forum. Usually, it was her face dominating the forum. But lately, her popularity had been overshadowed by a strange man. Thinking about all the online discussions, Mangekyō couldn't help but feel a bit disgusted. She hated weird people the most. She had encountered too many of them. People offering her huge sums of money to be their sugar baby, others wanting to buy her worn clothing, and some making even more vulgar and explicit comments. Noticing Mangekyō's look of disdain, Lingzhen remained unfazed. After rehearsal ended, everyone kept their distance from Mangekyō, even if they had thoughts about her. No one dared to approach. Except for one person, who walked straight up to her without hesitation. Hey, can I ask which dorm room you're in? The one speaking, of course, was Lingzhen. Mangekyō's dorm building was part of the area he had already claimed as Noah's Ark, and so he needed to know exactly which floor and room number she was in. That way, once the apocalypse game arrived, he could bring her in immediately. To Mangekyō, guys like Lingzhen were nothing new. Sure enough, another creep. But she didn't care at all and casually responded, 406. You coming over? She knew Lingzhen wouldn't be able to get in anyway. Since Mangekyō had already extended an invitation, Lingzhen wasn't going to waste the opportunity. In a couple of days. Right now's not the best time. A stunning, enchanting smile appeared on Mangekyō's face. I'll be waiting for you, then. With that, she turned and walked away. Yeah, right. If Lingzhen actually managed to get into her dorm room, she'd strip and do a pole dance for him on the spot. But that was simply impossible. As he watched Mangekyō walk off into the distance, Lingzhen chuckled softly. You said it yourself. What a toad lusting after a swan. He should take a good look at himself in the mirror. Exactly. A fool thinking he can chase after the campus Belle. But hey, even fools have their luck. At least he got to talk to her. Hearing the murmurs around him, Lingzhen silently instructed the system to record their information before casually walking away. Meanwhile, inside the school's sports arena, everything was set up for the concert. The tickets had sold out long ago. Lingzhen, I managed to get 2 tickets for the concert. Let's go together tonight. On the track, Lingzhen was scouting for attractive students when Ran excitedly ran up to him, handing him 2 tickets. He looked at her in surprise. Class monitor, I can't believe my 20 years of single guy reflexes actually lost to you. Twice. Of course, he had tried to buy tickets when they went on sale. After all, 2 absolute goddesses from the entertainment industry were coming, and since he needed to recruit people, this was the perfect opportunity. But when he refreshed the page just once, sold out. It hit him like a brick. How was anyone supposed to get these? Actually, I got them from a scalper. I figured I'd be bored, so I thought we could go together. Lingzhen didn't act reserved and accepted them gladly. Perfect. This way, he could have the system evaluate the attractiveness levels of 207 girl groups leader, Mangekyō, and the once-in-a-lifetime goddess, Ryuyan. Just then, Lingzhen and Ran noticed something. Everyone passing by them was whispering and pointing. Lingzhen had long gotten used to it. But Ran realized that people were pointing at her, too. At first, she was confused. But when she checked her phone, she saw that she and Lingzhen had made it onto the trending topics of short video platforms. The title read, The Scumbag Couple of Magic City University. Opening the video only made her angrier. Not only were there false rumors about Lingzhen, but also fabricated load rumors about her. They claimed she had cheated on her previous boyfriend with Lingzhen. But she had never even been in a relationship. And the one spreading the rumors? None other than He Dongzhen. Ran was so furious she was on the verge of tears. To get revenge on her, he Dongjing had fabricated more disgusting lies. Lin Xun had seen it too. Watching Ran's eyes well up with tears, he spoke calmly. Class monitor, after tonight, they'll all get what's coming to them. At midnight, the apocalypse game would descend. And every single villain would face their reckoning. As for the mastermind, Lin Xun would make him pay double. Ran wiped her tears and nodded. Inside the department office, Lu Qinglai placed a resignation letter on Dean Zhao Xuri's desk. Zhao Xuri furrowed his brows as he finished reading it. You're giving up your future over something this small? Are you insane? Zhao Xuri never expected this. Just because he pressured Lu Qinglai into completing the apology task regarding Lin Xun's incident, Lu Qinglai immediately submitted a resignation letter. Maybe to someone as important as you, this is just a trivial matter. But to me, this crosses an absolute boundary. Because my student did nothing wrong. Lu Qinglai was unwavering. Over the past few days, as a PhD in journalism and communication, she had conducted thorough research and analysis, uncovering every detail of the incident. She confirmed without a doubt that this was a complete fabrication. She even uploaded a detailed video proving Lin Xun's innocence, but it didn't make the slightest trickle online. The only comments she received were insults. Still trying to whitewash him? Defending scum like this? You're definitely not a good person either. People like you should just die too. She had completely let go of any hope. As a journalism instructor, she now fully understood the feeling of being powerless in the face of public opinion. Zhao Xuri could hear the sarcasm in Lu Qinglai's words. Have you thought this through? You're just a girl with no background, no connections. You worked so hard to earn this rare position. If you resign now, no other school will ever take you in. His voice was cold. Lu Qinglai bit her lip. Of course, she could hear the thinly veiled threat in his words. But over the past 2 days, she had already considered all the consequences. She had struggled with a decision, but she refused to go against her own conscience. I've thought it through. Zhao Xuri's face darkened further. He had intended to scare Lu Qinglai into obedience, but she didn't even take him seriously. Little Lu, this matter is actually negotiable. The school's goal is simply to calm the public opinion. How about this? Lin Xun doesn't need to make a video, he just writes an apology letter. Would that work? Since intimidation didn't work, Zhao Xuri decided to compromise. For now, Lu Qinglai's position as an advisor was still important, and it wouldn't be easy to find a replacement quickly. I think you must be mistaken. The ones who should be writing an apology letter are he Dongjing and the entire student council. Chapter 9, a once-in-a-lifetime beauty. However, Lu Qinglai refused to budge even an inch. If the innocent had to apologize, then where was justice? You're completely impervious to reason. Zhao Xuri was so furious he almost flipped the table. Fine. Then pack your things and get the hell out. The school was supposed to approve this tomorrow, but I'll make sure it's approved today. Once you leave, don't even think about coming back. Lu Qinglai's expression didn't change in the slightest at his words. Then I'll have to trouble you to hurry up. I've already booked my flight for tomorrow. I wouldn't want to delay my trip. Her parting words nearly made Zhao Xuri explode with rage. Holding the resignation letter in his hands, Zhao Xuri's face turned completely dark. So you're protecting that student, Lin Xun? In that case, you can leave along with him. From his position, making trouble over something like this was as easy as breathing. Meanwhile, Lin Xun was going around the track field, approaching every attractive girl he saw and asking which building and dorm room they lived in. By noon, he had already asked about a dozen people. Of course, quite a few rejected him outright, thinking he was some kind of fool. But Lin Xun didn't mind at all. Feeling satisfied with his progress, he headed to the cafeteria for lunch. Then, all of a sudden, a long message from Lu Qinglai appeared in the class group chat. She was resigning and leaving the school. The moment Lin Xun saw the message, he froze. The lunch lady across from him, seeing his gaping mouth, thought the poor kid was starving. So, without hesitation, she heaped an extra-large serving onto his plate. When she handed him the tray, she even gave him a sympathetic look. Young man, if you're ever hungry, just came to my window, all right? Realizing he had just made a scene, Lin Xun quickly snapped out of it, apologized, and carried the heavy tray to a seat. Then, he carefully read through Lu Qinglai's message. She wrote that she was leaving due to family matters. The rest of the message was filled with gratitude, apologies, and well wishes for everyone's future. After reading it, Lin Xun immediately called Lu Qinglai. She was one of his top candidates for Noah's Ark. Not to mention, he had always gotten along well with her, often joking and chatting. He definitely didn't want her to leave. At least not today. At the very least, she should wait until the apocalypse game arrived tonight. Once the call connected, Lin Xun immediately noticed that Lu Qinglai's tone was much lighter than before. Sister Lu, Why are you quitting? Without you, what am I supposed to do? A soft chuckle came from the other end. Look at you, always sweet-talking. Without me, won't the sun still rise as usual? It's not the same, Sister Lu. You're the sun in my heart. To persuade her to stay, Lingzhen unleashed every cheesy pickup line he had ever learned. For a full 3 seconds, Lu Qinglai was stunned into silence. Then, after a long pause, a light, carefree laugh rang out. Seriously, Lingzhen? I never expected you to care so much about an irresponsible advisor like me. But there's nothing I can do. My family needs me urgently. If I get the chance, I'll come back to visit everyone. Lingzhen immediately protested. Sister Lu, no one is more responsible than you. Have you already forgotten? That time when one of our classmates got secretly filmed by another guy from a different class while using the bathroom. You stayed up all night handling it without a second thought. Ever since that day, you've been the most admirable and noble figure in my eyes. Hearing Lingzhen bring up that bizarre incident, Lu Qinglai was instantly reminded of that outrageous night in the boys' dorm. That was the night that completely shattered her worldview. Alright, enough nonsense. Just don't mess with the next advisor, okay? Don't go up to them and say, hey, that's the teacher's seat on the podium. Lingzhen's face instantly turned red. Damn it. The embarrassing memories are attacking again. Sister Lu, when exactly are you leaving? He quickly shifted to the most important question. Once the school's approval comes through today, I'll be on a flight tomorrow morning. Lingzhen exhaled a long sigh of relief. That's good, that's good. What's good? Nothing. I meant it's not good at all. We won't get to see you anymore. After hanging up, Lingzhen finally felt at ease. Leaving tomorrow? Not a chance. Once the apocalypse game arrived tonight, there'd be no way for her to leave. Just as he was about to start eating, he looked at his plate and froze. What the hell? Did someone dump their leftovers on my plate by mistake? Why is there so much food? That afternoon, the school's south gate was completely swarmed with people. Apparently, someone had leaked the information that the concert guests would be arriving through the south entrance at 2 p.m. As a result, the south gate was packed to the brim. Despite security repeatedly stating that the guests wouldn't be entering through that gate, no one believed them. Originally, Lingzhen had planned to go check it out. After all, Luo Mengxu and Ruoyan were incredibly famous. But after seeing how crowded it was, he decided to head toward the north gate instead. The swimming pool near the north gate had just reopened today, so Lingzhen figured he'd take the chance to claim it. But when he asked the system about it, it turned out that the pool required 26 laps to be claimed. Not only that, but it was classified as an S-level area. Lingzhen's eyes lit up. If he could claim it, the bonuses would be insane. But with only half a day left, while he had enough time, he knew he'd be exhausted by the end of it. So, he simply hired a DD running service. At a steep price of 200 per lap, he contacted the same sports student who had run laps for him last time. Liu Yang, hearing that there was another easy payday, this time at twice the rate, immediately jumped at the chance. He was in the middle of a session at a hotel with his girlfriend, but he pulled up his pants and ran straight to the swimming pool to meet Lingzhen. After signing the contract, he started running immediately. Just as Lingzhen was about to leave and wait for the results, a girl wearing a baseball cap, her hat pulled low to hide her face, suddenly approached him mysteriously. Hey, do you know how to get to the sports arena? Without even thinking, Lingzhen knew. This girl was here for the concert. This person's voice had a mature elegance to it, very alluring. Over there, right next to the track. It's not far from here. Lingzhen pointed directly in the direction of the sports arena. Thanks. At that moment, the person lifted her head slightly, revealing an absolutely stunning face. Her enchanting eyes met his, and for an instant, he was completely frozen in place. Ruoyan. Whoa. Lingzhen had just started to exclaim when Ruoyan raised a slender finger, her sparkling pink manicure right in front of his eyes. She gently hushed him. Keep it down, classmate. If I get surrounded here, it'll be a problem. Ruoyan's sweet voice made Lingzhen momentarily dazed, and he unconsciously nodded. Seeing her up close like this, he finally understood why Ruoyan was known as a once-in-a-lifetime beauty. Her beauty was simply breathtaking. Just then, a girl dressed in sportswear, carrying a pink shoulder bag, came running toward them from the north gate. Zhao Yan, slow down. If someone recognizes you like this, it'll be a hassle. When she spotted Lingzhen, Ruoyan's manager quickly lowered her voice. Classmate, please keep this a secret, okay? Lingzhen smiled and nodded. Ruoyan pouted. I'm fine. I already found out where the sports arena is. Let's go. The manager, called finally sighed in relief. Ruoyan waved at Lingzhen. I'm off now, handsome. Thanks a bunch. Watching Ryuoyan's figure disappear into the distance, Lingzhen felt like he was dreaming. Thinking about the massive crowd waiting at the south gate for the celebrities to arrive, he couldn't help but chuckle. Then, as if something suddenly came to mind, he quickly asked the system. System, analyze Ryuoyan's attractiveness level for me. Chapter 10, SSS level attractiveness, Ryuoyan, attractiveness level, SSS, type, sweet and mature, building bonus, recruiting other women to move in doubles the experience points gained, extra bonus, as relationships develop and progress, mysterious rewards can be unlocked. Lingzhen was stunned. SSS level. And this bonus? It was a global bonus. From now on, recruiting one person would be equivalent to recruiting two. Not only that, but this extra bonus. Wasn't it a little too enticing to get involved with her? For someone as pure-hearted as Lingzhen, this was a tough dilemma. But since everything was for the sake of bonuses and improving survival, he could only use that reasoning to convince his innocent self. Over an hour later, Liu Yang finished running 26 laps, drenched in sweat. When he received the 5,200 yuan transferred by Lingzhen, he was ecstatic. After thanking Lingzhen, he turned around and cursed, saying Lingzhen must have a serious mental illness. Liu Yang thought Lingzhen didn't hear, but in reality, the system had already recorded it. Host, he just called you mentally ill. Lingzhen twitched the corner of his mouth, watching Liu Yang's retreating figure and shaking his head. Kid, you're narrowing your own path. At that moment, the system's reward arrived. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully claiming the S-rank area, swimming pool. Bonus acquired, Master of Body Management. Just as he was wondering what this Master of Body Management entailed, the system provided an answer. Master of Body Management, everyone who enters the host's territory will automatically change into a swimsuit. At that time, they must strike a pose to showcase their physique for the host to rate. If the score given by the host matches the system's, corresponding rewards will be granted. Lingzhen, who was originally puzzled, couldn't help but smile. But don't get him wrong. He just had an appreciation for beautiful things. Without hesitation, he converted the swimming pool into experience points and assigned this bonus to Noah's Arkansas, successfully converted the S-rank swimming pool. Gain 20,000 experience points. Bonus acquired, Master of Body Management, congratulations, host. Noah's Ark has been upgraded to level 5, Noah's Ark, building complex grade, SSS, current level, 5, 17,000 out of 40,000, defense level, 2, current residence, 1, capacity, 1,000, allocatable points, 12, current special buildings, 1 super granary, 1 armory, full area surveillance, additional bonuses, ultimate comfort environment, Master of Body Management, resource domination, luxury interior design, SSS level exclusive bonuses, super granary, produces supplies, capable of self-producing food, storing it, and increasing production speed as the complex levels up, double material refund for women, resources consumed by female residents will be refunded double to the host, with the refund multiplier increasing as the complex levels up, attractiveness bonus, the higher the attractiveness of recruited members, the greater the experience point gain for the complex, exclusive occupancy, cannot be occupied by others. Noah's Ark's bonuses were now nothing short of luxurious. Not only that, he still had 12 unallocated points. If he assigned them all to defense, he could immediately raise its level to 6. But he wasn't in a hurry. Because aside from defense, there were other areas to upgrade. For example, he could enhance the existing walls with various bonuses, such as attack reflection damage, or molten lava walls that inflicted damage upon contact, or even spend a point to install a Gatling gun on the complex's balcony. There were many options. Ultimately, though, his choices would have to depend on the real conditions when the apocalypse game arrived. Just as Lingzhen was feeling pleased, he suddenly received a call from a landline. Is this student Lingzhen? This is the department office. You have violated school regulations, and your disciplinary action is still pending. Please come to the office immediately. The call left him stunned. Disciplinary action? Upon arriving at the department office, he saw Zhao Ridi looking at him, his face plastered with a smile. Student Lingzhen, you should know that some matters, if handled seriously, can affect your entire life. But as long as you do what the school asks, I guarantee you'll be fine. Lingzhen furrowed his brows. He had a strong feeling that this department head was up to no good. Most likely, the so-called solution Lu Qinglai had relayed to him to calm public opinion came from this guy. What do you want? He wasn't in a rush. He wanted to see what kind of scheme this man was cooking up. You just need to read this paper aloud and record a short video. Curious, Lingzhen took the paper, but the moment he read its contents, his hand started trembling uncontrollably. You're trying to force Lu Qinglai out. The paper's contents outright shifted all public blame onto Lu Qinglai. It claimed that all of Lingzhen's questionable actions were done under Lu Qinglai's influence. With this, the school could expel Lu Qinglai under justifiable grounds, making it seem like she was forced out instead of resigning on her own. The key difference between the two? If Lu Qinglai was expelled, she would carry this massive stain on her record for life. Zhao Ridi's expression remained completely unchanged despite Lingzhen's outburst. Young man, don't make it sound so harsh. What do you mean forcing? I'm clearly looking out for you. As long as you do as I say, the school will clear your record. Lingzhen's hands trembled as he clutched the paper tightly. Then, he stared at Zhao Ridi with an unwavering gaze. I want to know why Teacher Lu resigned. Something told him that Lu Qinglai's departure wasn't as simple as it seemed. Just as he finished speaking, he spotted a resignation letter sitting on the side of the desk. Before Zhao Ridi could react, Lingzhen swiftly snatched it up. The moment he read its contents, a sharp pain stabbed deep into his heart. Lu Qinglai. She actually did it for him. Sis Lu, you're way too foolish. If he hadn't come here and seen Lu Qinglai's resignation letter, he probably would have been kept in the dark forever. Zhao Ridi saw Lingzhen reading the resignation letter but showed no concern. Student Lingzhen, I know your family isn't well off, so you should be well aware that your future path will be much harder than others. Lu Qinglai thinks she's standing her ground with pride, but in this environment, her actions are nothing but foolish. She'll regret what she did today, but I trust that you're someone who understands the bigger picture. Besides, as long as you do what I say, I can ensure you receive the highest tier of financial aid and scholarships this year. After saying this, Zhao Ridi was certain Lingzhen had no reason to refuse. For someone from a struggling family, scholarships and financial aid were incredibly important. He had already done a background check on Lingzhen beforehand, so he was confident that he had him completely under control. But what he didn't expect. Lingzhen smiled. Slowly, he set down Lu Qinglai's resignation letter and crushed the other paper. The false accusation letter. Into a ball. Chapter 11, Twins? Let me see what's going on. What are you doing? Zhao Ridi's face changed instantly. But in the next second, that crumpled ball of paper was thrown straight at him, landing perfectly in his just open mouth. Zhao Ridi felt himself choke, hurriedly spitting out the paper while glaring furiously at Lingzhen. Are you crazy? Do you want to get expelled? Expel your fucking. Lingzhen swung a punch straight across the office desk, landing it squarely on Zhao Ridi's face. Zhao Ridi had considered the possibility of Lingzhen refusing, but he never imagined that Lingzhen would dare to hit him right in the department office. He was a middle-aged man who never exercised and even had kidney issues. How could he possibly be a match for Lingzhen? After just one punch, he was knocked down and pinned to the floor, getting beaten mercilessly. Fists rained down on his face like a storm. At first, Zhao Ridi was enraged. How could some punk kid dare to beat him up? He tried to fight back. But after struggling for a bit, he completely lost the will to resist. He started covering his face, begging for mercy. But Lingzhen wasn't about to let him off so easily. He wasn't just venting his own anger. He was also standing up for Lu Qinglai. Besides, after tonight, the apocalypse game would begin. By then, no one could do anything to him anyway. Once he was satisfied, Lingzhen clapped his hands and walked out of the department office. An hour later, Zhao Ridi, who was lying unconscious on the office floor, was finally discovered by other faculty members. Dean Zhao, you. What happened to you? Call an ambulance, quick. Inside the ambulance, Zhao Ridi barely managed to open his swollen eyes. Call. The police. I want to call the police. Lingzhen. He beat me. The teacher accompanying him to the hospital was stunned. Lingzhen? Why did that name sound so familiar? Dean Zhao, let's focus on getting you treated first. We can talk about this later. Seeing Zhao Ridi's face swollen like a pig's head, struggling to even speak, the teacher tried to calm him down. Zhao Ridi wanted to cry but had no tears. He was desperate to get Lingzhen punished, but he could barely get his words out. He had never been this humiliated in his entire life. Meanwhile, the righteous Lingzhen acted as if nothing had happened and calmly arrived at Lu Qinglai's staff dormitory. As soon as he entered, he saw Lu Qinglai packing her luggage. What, you actually came to help me pack? Didn't think you were such a considerate guy. Lu Qinglai teased him playfully. Seeing her pretending like nothing had happened made Lingzhen feel a little uneasy inside. Sis Lu, how long were you planning to keep this from me? I saw your resignation letter. You're not leaving because of family issues, are you? Lu Qinglai's delicate body tensed slightly. How did you see that? So Lingzhen told her everything that had just happened. Lu Qinglai's beautiful eyes widened in shock, staring at Lingzhen in disbelief. You hit Zhao Ridi? Are you crazy, Lingzan. The school could expel you for this. How could you risk your future just to stand up for me? As she spoke, tears welled up in Lu Qinglai's eyes. Lingzan couldn't help but feel a little heartache. Sis Lu, this isn't about you. It has nothing to do with you. I just couldn't stand his disgusting behavior. He didn't want Lu Qinglai to feel guilty about this. Besides, Sis Lu, who knows what'll come first? Tomorrow or the apocalypse? Maybe the world will end tomorrow. Lu Qinglai let out a soft laugh. Oh, stop joking. I know you're just trying to make me feel better. Lingzan shrugged. No, really, Sis Lu. Have you ever watched zombie movies? Maybe tomorrow will be overrun by zombies. You mean, like Resident Evil or Train to Busan? Lu Qinglai asked. She actually liked zombie movies quite a bit. Lingzan nodded quickly. Yeah, exactly like that. No way, those are just movies, Lingzan. I need you to go apologize to Zhao Ridi first. Even though he's not a good person, you shouldn't gamble your future away just to spite him. As long as you agree to his demands, he probably won't blow this out of proportion. Lu Qinglai looked at Lingzan seriously. I was planning to leave anyway. Whether I go voluntarily or not doesn't really matter. Lingzan hadn't expected that, even at this moment, Lu Qinglai was still thinking about him. It was true. There were different kinds of teachers in this world. Seeing that Lu Qinglai wouldn't back down, Lingzan thought for a moment. How about this, Sis Lu? If the world doesn't end tomorrow, I'll do as you say. Besides, Zhao Ridi's face is so swollen he looks like a pig. Even if he wants to make trouble for me, he'll have to wait until he can actually talk properly. Only then did Lu Qinglai agree. As for Lingzan's talk about the apocalypse and zombies, how could that be possible? Ah, student life. The kind of imagination only young people could have. Lingzan, in those zombie movies, ordinary people like us are always the ones who get infected first. If something like that really happened, wouldn't you be scared? Without the formal teacher-student dynamic between them, Lu Qinglai felt as if a strange barrier had been lifted. She found herself opening up and talking about things she normally wouldn't. Of course not. Besides, I'd protect you, Sis Lu. Lingzan chuckled. Lu Qinglai pursed her lips into a smile. Oh? You said it, okay? If it really happens, don't you dare leave me behind and run away. The night deepened. 1 hour until the concert began. 4 hours until midnight. The audience was starting to enter the venue. Lingzan and Enran walked together, arriving at the best front row seats. He hadn't expected Enran to get such good seats. How much did these cost? He had always heard that Enran's family was well off, but he didn't realize they were this well off. Yet, despite that, Enran was incredibly low-key. There wasn't a trace of arrogance in her. Lingzan, which celebrity do you like the most? I love Luo Mengxu. Enran waved her light stick, a rare smile appearing on her delicate face. Me? I like celebrities who spread positive energy. Positive energy? Enran was momentarily confused but still looked at Lingzan with admiration. Yeah, you know. Hot and full of energy. As the concert began, various celebrities started performing one after another. But Lingzan wasn't interested in the early acts. He only cared about Luo Mengxu and Ryuo Yan. If it weren't for the girls screaming behind him, he probably would have dozed off. They're here. They're here. Luo Mengxu. I heard she's bringing her twin sister for her debut performance tonight. Enran suddenly got excited, her eyes sparkling as she looked at the distant stage. Lingzan, who had been feeling drowsy, instantly perked up. What? Twins? Now that woke him up. His eyes were locked onto the stage. Let's see what this twin thing is all about. He had heard rumors before that Luo Mengxu had a twin sister, but she had never been involved in the entertainment industry. Who would have thought that she'd make her debut at this concert? Chapter 12, chosen by Ruoyan. As the entrance lights lit up, the central stage's lift slowly rose, revealing two stunning figures. One stood while the other crouched slightly, striking a pose that perfectly showcased their figures. The audience erupted in screams. Lingzan was mesmerized. He had only ever seen Luo Mengxu online before, but seeing her live, at such close range. Her beauty was breathtaking. Even more importantly, the breathtaking effect was doubled. 1 + 1, 2 absolutely applied at this moment. I can't even tell which one is Luo Mengxu and which one is her sister, Luo Meniu. Enran stared at the stage, momentarily unable to distinguish them under the lights. The one on the left is Luo Mengxu. She has a mole an inch below her collarbone, Lingzan stated decisively. 10-year superfan Enran suddenly seemed like a clueless newbie next to Lingzan. System, analyze these two for me. Lingzan eagerly commanded in his heart. Luo Mengxu, attractiveness level, SSS, type, dominant goddess, building bonus, precision capture. can directly capture the most beautiful woman within a 100-mile radius for the host and forcibly pull her into the building zone, once per day. Luomeniu, attractiveness level, SSS, type, Lilai, building bonus, small treasury. Provides 10,000 gold coins to the building owner. Lingzhen swallowed hard, a surge of excitement welling up inside him. What a precision capture. What a small treasury. Both were absolutely top-tier abilities. Good, good, good. System, you never disappoint. Even someone as upright as he was found it hard to resist this temptation. On stage, Luomeniu and Luomengxu had already begun their performance. As the all-around ace of girl group 207, Luomengxu's skills in both singing and dancing were top-notch. Every movement, every glance, was enough to captivate the soul. Luomeniu, on the other hand, had clearly trained for countless hours before stepping on stage. Surprisingly, she was just as flawless as Luomengxu. The twin stars on stage had completely won over Lingzhen, a mere passerby fan. By the time Luomeniu's performance ended, there was only half an hour left until midnight and Ruoyun's turn on stage. Ruoyun's style was entirely different from Luomeniu's. Dressed in a flowing white dress, she stood on stage like a celestial being. The moment her clear and pure voice rang out, Lingzhen felt as if his entire being had been healed. Everyone in the venue was transfixed by her ethereal figure. Even the slightest impure thought felt like sacrilege against her presence. Between verses, Ruoyun seemed to notice Lingzhen in the front row and gave him a dazzling smile. That smile melted the hearts of everyone present. As for Lingzhen, his feelings were beyond words. It was as if he had ascended to heaven. And knowing that in just a short while, Ruoyun would be moving into his Noah's Ark. He felt like he was living in a dream. After Ruoyun finished her performance, it was time for her signature audience interaction segment. The camera would randomly select someone, giving them the chance to go on stage and interact with her. At that moment, the entire venue went crazy. Both male and female fans alike. Even Hidongzhen, sitting in the fifth row with his arm still in a sling, was shouting at the top of his lungs, desperate to be chosen. Ruoyun had always been his goddess. Even the chance to stand close to her would drive him wild. The camera panned back and forth. When it finally began to slow down for selection, Hidongzhen suddenly caught a glimpse of himself on screen for a brief moment. His excitement soared. Could it be? But in the next second, the camera abruptly switched to a man looking down at his phone. The next moment, Hidongzhen's smile froze. His expression turned dark in an instant. How the hell is it him? That worthless piece of trash? He doesn't deserve this. He couldn't accept it. His clenched fists trembled with the urge to punch that man. The one chosen was, of course, Lingzhen. At that moment, Lingzhen had been messaging Rukongai, calculating the best way to prepare for the apocalypse game, which was arriving in about 10 minutes. But when he absent-mindedly looked up, his face, a face even more handsome than Eddie Peng's, was displayed on the giant screen. Huh? He got chosen? Beside him, Anran was so excited that she kept poking him. You got picked, Lingzhen. You get to go on stage and interact with Ruoyun. On stage, Ruoyun was also smiling at Lingzhen. She hadn't expected this at all. The backstage camera had selected him entirely at random. What a coincidence. Let's give a warm welcome to this handsome young man, she said cheerfully. And so, with a face full of confusion, Lingzhen walked onto the stage. The spotlight shone down on him. Only 5 minutes remained until midnight. Yet here he was, still interacting with Ruoyun on stage. This must be fate, Ruoyun said with a soft smile. Actually, I met this handsome young man earlier today when I entered the university. If we're this destined to meet, we might as well have a hug. With that, she gently spread her arms and gracefully stepped toward Lingzhen, like a fairy descending. Before he could even react, he suddenly found himself holding an angel in his arms. The fleeting warmth against his chest was accompanied by a clear and steady heartbeat. Wait. Did he just hug Ruoyun? He had thought he'd have to wait until after the apocalypse game to do this. Meanwhile, in the audience, Hidongzhen was so furious that he jumped to his feet. Fuck you, Lingzhen. Get off the stage. That's my goddess. At the same time, a wave of boos erupted throughout the venue. Lingzhen's reputation in the university had already been dragged through the mud. Naturally, everyone found it unbearable to watch him share such an intimate moment with their goddess. During the brief hug with Ruoyun, Lingzhen leaned close to her ear and whispered softly, if anything unexpected happens later, come backstage with me immediately. I'll protect you. After saying that, the two separated. Ruoyun looked at him with a puzzled expression. Danger? How could there be danger here? Ruoyun didn't take it to heart. Maybe Lingzhen was just joking with her. Earlier, when he first got on stage, Lingzhen had already said the same thing to Anran. After all, he had gathered too many beautiful women. Managing them alone would be difficult. At this moment, is there anything you'd like to say to someone you like? One unique feature of Ruoyan's concerts was that people who got selected often confessed their love on stage. Seeing this, Lingzhen took the microphone and glanced at the sports watch on his wrist. Only 30 seconds left. So he spoke. I want to say that if danger arrives, everyone should head to dormitory building 4 for girls. That's the safest place. As soon as he finished speaking, the entire venue fell into silence. Everyone stared at Lingzhen like he was a complete idiot. Knew it. This guy's brain isn't normal. He's acting crazy again. Does that sound like something a sane person would say? So embarrassing. So many people from other schools and other places are watching this concert. This is beyond humiliating. Chapter 13, The Apocalypse Game arrives. Ruoyan also looked at Lingzhen strangely, not quite understanding what he meant. However, Lingzhen's expression remained unchanged as he stared at his watch and silently counted in his mind. 3, 2, 1. In an instant, everyone present. No, everyone in the world. Froze. A message appeared in their minds simultaneously. Welcome to the Apocalypse Survival Game, rules are now being released. 1. The game revolves around claiming territory and recruiting members. In this game, expanding your domain and gathering people is the key to survival. 2. How to claim territory, run laps around different buildings to occupy them as your own. Different building levels require different numbers of laps, and each provides different bonuses. 3. Once occupied, territories can still be taken over by others. So make sure to set up defenses in advance. 4. Apocalypse types, zombie outbreak and natural disasters. More types will be unlocked later. 5. Gold coins are the only currency in this game. All players can freely trade in the in-game marketplace. 6. The game has a friend system. Inviting others to your territory only requires an invitation. Rules announcement complete. The game is about to begin. First stage, the zombie outbreak. Zombies will arrive in 10 minutes. Players must claim their territories or join someone else's building before they arrive. Did you guys see some kind of apocalypse game thing pop up? I saw it too. What the hell is going on? Look. Everyone has a game panel now. We can add people as friends, and we can even talk to each other without using phones. Everyone was shocked. What was happening? If all of this was real, then didn't that mean the so-called apocalypse game was also real? In an instant, the entire stadium erupted into chaos. Claim territory. I need to claim my territory. Get the hell out of my way. Yeah. We have to claim land to survive. Just run laps. Everyone suddenly realized what was happening. A seed of ambition instantly exploded in their hearts. As long as they occupied territory, they could become a ruler in this apocalypse game. Maybe even have a harem of women. However, before the chaos reached its peak, Lingzhen had already grabbed Ruoyan's hand and rushed backstage. What the hell is going on? Ruoyan was still struggling to process all the information that had flooded her mind. All she knew was that there was now a countdown in her head. 9 minutes left. This is the unexpected event I warned you about earlier. But for now, the priority is finding a safe place. Not long after, Anran also arrived backstage, following Lingzhen's earlier instructions. Don't ask questions. Just head to the girls' dormitory. Lingzhen quickly searched backstage but couldn't find Luomani or Luomengsu. So he gave up looking and simply searched for their names in the friend list. Though there were duplicates, the system allowed him to search by distance. The closest ones had to be the sisters. Anran and Ruoyan didn't ask any further questions. They had a feeling Lingzhen knew something. So they put on baseball caps, pulled down the brims to hide their faces, and slipped out of the stadium. At this moment, the entire university was in utter madness. People were running laps around every single building, trying to claim them. Some were even fighting over territory. Chaos. The zombies hadn't even arrived yet, but order was already on the verge of collapse. Lingzhen sneered. These fools still didn't know. Every single building on campus had already lost its eligibility for occupation. Not long after, Lingzhen arrived with the 2 girls at his claimed territory. Noah's Arkansas. As long as he stepped inside, he could fully activate it. Wait. You're a guy. Won't they kick you out if you go in? Ruoyan and Anran hesitated, looking at Lingzhen uncertainly. But Lingzhen didn't care. This was his territory. Without hesitation, he stepped inside. The next second, the system's voice rang out. SSS level Noah's Ark successfully activated. The host now owns the entire building. All previous modifications and bonuses have been applied. The host can manage all residents in the building. Detected, 271 non-territory members. Do you wish to expel them? Lingzhen spoke without hesitation. Expel them. Wait, no. Hold on. Expel everyone except for room 406. He almost forgot. Earlier, he had arranged to meet campus beauty Menken in her dorm room 406. Expulsion complete. The next moment, everyone in Noah's Ark, except for Menken in room 406, was forcibly thrown out. In an instant, the dormitory entrance was packed with confused and panicked girls. They were completely dumbfounded. 1 second ago, they had been sitting in their rooms, worrying about what this apocalypse game even was. The next second, they found themselves outside the building. Just then, a global game announcement rang out. Congratulations to player Lingzhen for successfully occupying the world's only SSS-level building. Reward, 50,000 gold coins. For a moment, all the players were stunned. It had only been 7 minutes. And someone had already claimed a building? How fast did this guy have to be? Meanwhile, in the chat channel surrounding Magic City University, everyone instantly recognized the name Lingzhen. After all, wasn't he the infamous Lingzhen from the internet? Zhuliang, that idiot actually claimed a territory? Dumb luck. Wait a minute. Do you guys remember when he was running laps around the school buildings and everyone thought he was a lunatic? Zhao Dedong, holy shit, you mean he already occupied a ton of places? Li Qing'an, and remember how he even paid people to run for him? Lu Yang, fuck, I ran 26 laps around a swimming complex for him just this afternoon. As more and more people joined in, the truth began to emerge. Only now did everyone realize that the entire school had already been completely claimed by Lingzhen. At this moment, nearly the entire university had gathered at the entrance of Noah's Ark, trying to break in. However, an invisible energy seemed to be blocking them from entering. In an instant, everyone started cursing Lingzhen. Are you even human? We're all your classmates. You should let us in so we can take shelter together. Yeah. Or at least release some of the other areas you've occupied. Inside Noah's Ark, on the first floor, Lingzhen's expression remained completely indifferent. Now they knew how to beg him? Where were they before? At that moment, Lingzhen appeared at the entrance of Noah's Ark in front of everyone. But he didn't step out of the barrier. Instead, he just looked at them calmly. Then, from the crowd, he spotted a familiar figure. Lu Qinglai stepped forward, walking straight into Noah's Ark and taking Lingzhen's hand. I have a lot of questions, but I'll wait until you've handled everything here first. She spoke gently before walking inside. Just then, a man wrapped in bandages stepped out from the crowd. Lingzhen. If you're still human, let everyone in right now. Don't think that just because you've claimed a place, you can act like a king. I'm telling you, the authorities will step in sooner or later. He Dongjing pointed at Lingzhen's face, his voice full of urgency. Because there was only 1 minute left until the zombies arrived. Chapter 14, Swimsuit Showcase. Liu Yao, who was standing beside He Dongjing, also spoke up. Exactly, we can overlook the fact that you hit someone before. But right now, everyone here is your classmate. Are you really heartless enough to just watch us get hurt? Immediately, the crowd chimed in. That's right. This is a public area on campus, not just your personal space. You should let us in. If it were me, I'd definitely protect everyone. That's just the right thing to do. Anyone with a conscience would do that, right? Hearing the endless chatter around him, Lingzhen impatiently spoke up. Enough. The place fell into silence. I can let you in, but why should I? When you were cyberbullying me, did you see me as your classmate? When you were insulting me, did you remember I was your classmate? And now, suddenly, we're all classmates again, huh? No one could find a comeback. Because the truth was, most people here had indeed insulted Lingzhen before. Even if we were in the wrong, are you saying you did nothing wrong at all, Lingzhen? He Dongjing looked at Lingzhen and challenged him. Lingzhen chuckled. Then you can all just die. Zombies are now randomly appearing. Zombie levels will increase every 3 days. There is also a small chance of a zombie king spawning. At first, everyone still clung to a sliver of hope, thinking this was just some elaborate prank. Something fake. But when zombies suddenly materialized around them, tackling people to the ground. Biting, tearing, devouring. As blood splattered everywhere, they finally realized. This was real. Fear, panic. Someone got bitten. They're dead. Run. Break down the door. If we work together, we can force it open. I refuse to believe we can't. Some scattered, desperately looking for a place to hide. Others turned their attention to breaking through the defenses of Noah's Ark and saw they started grabbing sticks and anything they could find, wildly attacking Noah's Ark's entrance. Lingzhen sneered. He wasn't even slightly worried about them breaking through. Instead, he calmly looked at the crowd and said, if you think you're attractive, step forward. If I like what I see, you can come in. Faced with the immediate threat of death, no one cared about their dignity anymore. All they wanted was a chance to survive. In an instant, dozens of beautiful women broke free from the crowd and lined up at the entrance of Noah's Ark and saw they pleaded and acted coquettishly toward Lingzhen. Lingzhen took a brief look at them and finally picked 3 women to enter Noah's Ark with him. One could tie a cherry stem with her tongue, another was a dance major, and the last was the class Belle. All 3 of them were stunning, both in looks and figure. True beauties. Having survived this ordeal, the 3 women felt immensely grateful for their good looks, as it was the reason they had been chosen by Lingzhen. Menya, I liked you so much, and yet you chose to follow someone who doesn't even care about his classmates. Why? That broke loser. Why does he get to have this? 3 top-tier beauties. And he gets to have them all to himself? This is unfair. Outside, many of the men were furious, burning with jealousy to the point of madness. Especially He Dongjin. The very scene he had fantasized about was now happening right before his eyes. But it all belonged to Lingzhen. He was determined to take back what was his. After bringing the 3 women into Noah's Ark, Lingzhen immediately had them sign a residency contract. At that moment, the system notification popped up. Special bonus, Master of Body Management is about to activate. Would you like to proceed with activation? Seeing this bonus, Lingzhen's breathing quickened involuntarily. Activate. Detected 7 members within the building complex. In 10 minutes, all 7 must select a swimsuit and present themselves to the host for evaluation. Please prepare to score them. At that moment, Rukongai, Ryuoyan, and Anran had just been standing together, discussing what exactly this apocalypse game was all about, when they, along with the 3 newly joined female classmates, were suddenly pulled into a dressing room. Around them hung all kinds of swimsuits. Each one with so little fabric that their faces instantly turned red. What's going on? How did we end up in a swimsuit room? These swimsuits are way too revealing. I've never seen swimsuits with so little material before. The 6 girls blushed, still trying to process the sudden change in their situation. Just as they were lost in confusion, another dazzling figure appeared beside them. She looked just as dumbfounded as they did. It was Mangekyō, who had just been in her dorm room, worrying about how to deal with the zombies. Where am I? Just a moment ago, she had been searching for her missing roommates, only to learn that many people had been inexplicably kicked out of the dorms. And the next second, she found herself here. Mangekyō? Anran immediately recognized Mangekyō. She was the campus belle of their school. Everyone knew her. Seeing someone familiar, Mangekyō breathed a small sigh of relief. At least she wasn't alone. Just then, a system notification appeared in all of their minds at once. Please change into an appropriate swimsuit within 10 minutes and present yourselves to the building owner. Those who fail to do so will be forcibly expelled from the building complex. Countdown begins. The 4 girls exchanged glances. Did you all get the message too? Mangekyō blinked her beautiful eyes. Ryuoyan gently nodded. So, what do we do now? Do we really have to wear these? Anran hesitated. They were being forced to put on these swimsuits and present themselves in front of Lingzhen. This was way too embarrassing. Rukongai, on the other hand, speculated, this must be part of the game's rules, not Lingzhen's own doing. Since it's a matter of survival, we should follow the instructions. I just saw someone die right at the bottom of the building with my own eyes. As soon as these words were spoken, Ryuoyan, Anran, and Mangekyō all nodded. At this point, it seemed like this was their only option. Compared to going outside and facing danger, wearing a swimsuit was definitely the better choice. Besides, it wasn't like she was the only one wearing it. Having others alongside her made it less awkward. And so, the 7 stunning beauties began selecting swimsuits in the spacious dressing room. Even though they felt incredibly embarrassed about wearing something like this, when it came to choosing, they still tried to pick the ones that fit them perfectly and best showcased their figures. Since things had already come to this, they might as well go all in. If they had to wear it, they might as well make sure they looked good in it. None of them wanted to look worse than the others. Chapter 15, Ultimate Temptation. At this moment, outside the dressing room, Lingzhen sat calmly in the front row of a viewing platform, leisurely mixing a glass of whiskey as he waited for the show to begin. For a better experience, he had specifically instructed the system to set up the runway. The goal was to create the ultimate spectacle. Would the host like to broadcast this with censorship in the nearby channel, using it as a promotional method to attract more girls to Noah's Ark? The system prompt made Lingzhen pause mid-sip. What a great idea. A censored broadcast. This way, more beautiful women would see just how safe it was inside Noah's Ark and saw enable it. Lingzhen said without hesitation. After all, it was censored. The key details would be for his eyes only. Meanwhile, not far from Noah's Ark, inside a campus bathroom. This C-rank bathroom was the only place He Dongjin had found that could be claimed while fleeing for his life. So, he risked his safety by running several laps around it to secure the territory, gaining temporary security. This reignited his determination to take revenge on Lingzhen. As he was contemplating whether he could also recruit some beautiful women like Lingzhen, he realized that the bathroom's defenses were far inferior to Lingzhen's. By more than just a little. It wouldn't take much for a group of people to break in. Left with no choice, he allowed a few others to enter and take shelter in the bathroom with him. However, he was unaware. This place was something Lingzhen wouldn't even bother looking at. We need to work together to take Lingzhen's place. We can't let a villain like him have his way. Holding his nose, Dongjin addressed the people around him. Since this was his territory, he had to join forces with others. The others also harbored deep resentment toward Lingzhen and eagerly agreed, completely forgetting how they had once cyberbullied Lingzhen before the apocalypse game began. But right now, we can't even leave. We don't have food. How are we supposed to take on Lingzhen? I have an idea. Did you see the game marketplace? You can exchange gold coins for firearms. If we pool our gold coins together, we can buy a gun. I refuse to believe we can't break through Lingzhen's defenses. The suggestion sparked hope in the group. But the moment they saw that a single firearm cost 1,000 gold coins, their enthusiasm immediately died down. Gold coins could only be earned by surviving multiple days or killing zombies. They didn't even have food. How were they supposed to save up gold coins? Listen to me, don't panic yet. Our location isn't far from the supermarket. If we can move the supplies there back here and sell them in the marketplace, we can quickly earn a ton of gold coins. Dongjin quickly proposed a solid plan. He had been studying the game's mechanics all this time and had already figured out the fastest way to accumulate gold coins at this stage. With more than a dozen people under his command, his bathroom had now upgraded to level 2. It could withstand zombie invasions for 2 days. Enough time to build his strength. Alright, let's do it. Lingzhen might have a big territory, but he's probably struggling to survive just as much as we are. Exactly. I heard the bigger the territory, the harder it is to upgrade. He's probably worried about what to do now. He's outsmarted himself. Everyone present smirked confidently. Dongjin, too, sneered smugly. Even upgrading his small C-rank bathroom had required 1,000 experience points. With Lingzhen's massive territory, upgrading must be a nightmare, right? But just as they were feeling pleased with themselves, they suddenly noticed a live broadcast notification in the nearby area channel. Player, Lingzhen has started a live stream in the nearby area. You may watch. Live stream title, Noah's Ark entry requirements evaluation. Curious, they clicked in. The stream showed a runway. On the stage, a man sat back lazily in a chair, feet propped up on the table in front of him, sipping whiskey. As the live chat flooded with discussions, people started reacting to what they were seeing. Liu Yang, what's going on? Why such a big setup? Julia's Wang, are you guys safe? A lot of us are hiding in the sports arena. The area can't be claimed, but since we locked the doors, zombies haven't been able to get in. For now, I'm in a library. It's safe for now, but zombies keep ramming the doors. Once they hit level 2 in 3 days, we're doomed. Zhu Shen, does anyone know what this traitor Lingzhen is doing? Just sitting there? No way he can survive the zombie evolution in 3 days. Dongjin, I've claimed the school bathroom. Anyone nearby, come join forces with me. Let's take down Lingzhen. Dong, I'm in. Lingzhen deserves to die. As everyone speculated about the purpose of the stream, suddenly, bright lights illuminated the runway. The next second, at the entrance of the runway, a censored figure slowly appeared. Other than Lingzhen, no one could see anything except a face. Seeing this, Dongjin was stunned. Anran? What was she doing? Why was she on the runway? Facing Lingzhen? Liu Yun, isn't that Anran, from the campus Belle rankings? I remember she was even voted the most beautiful one year. She actually joined Lingzhen's building complex? Liu Yang, Lingzhen, you bastard. How did you manage to get such a gorgeous girl in your base? Dong, we have to kill Lingzhen. We have to take his base. And Anran, too. As jealousy erupted in the chat, a message suddenly appeared at the center of the stream. First round, swimsuit showcase evaluation begins. The moment these words appeared, the chat completely exploded. Liu Yang, what? Anran is modeling swimsuits. For Lingzhen? Fuck you, Lingzhen. You don't deserve to see this. I'm going to gouge your eyes out. Liu, are you fucking kidding me? I'm still struggling to survive, and this bastard gets to watch Anran on a damn runway. And it's censored too? Dong, I'm going to kill Lingzhen. Anran is my goddess. Why? Why? Liu Xiang, this menace needs to be eliminated. I'll dig out his eyes. Is the game administration seriously not going to do anything about this guy? At that moment, upon seeing the message, Dongjin completely lost his mind. His eyes instantly turned red with rage. Fuck your mother, Lingzhen. You fing bastard. You deserve to die. Why the hell do you get to watch and ran? Just moments ago, they had been saying Lingzhen was probably struggling to survive. And in the very next second, Lingzhen was sitting back, watching a swimsuit showcase. Dongjin was so jealous he was about to lose his mind. Anran was the woman he had always longed for but could never have. Under everyone's gaze, Lingzhen focused intently on the slightly bashful Anran on stage. That outfit, combined with Anran's youthful beauty. Too cute. Especially with that little bunny pattern. Meanwhile, Anran, her face already flushed red, kept glancing away shyly, avoiding Lingzhen's gaze. The more Lingzhen watched seriously, the more jealous everyone in the live chat. And Dongjin became. They couldn't even begin to imagine what kind of scenery was hidden beneath that mosaic. In the end, Lingzhen gave her a high score of 95. Just when everyone thought it was over, the text in the center of the live stream suddenly changed again. Round 2 begins. Liu Xian, what? There's a fucking second round? Wang Dong, chill, guys. The second round probably won't be much. Anran is already top-tier beauty. I refuse to believe there's anyone even more stunning. Liu Yang, ugh, Lingzhen is getting such an easy pass. If I could get a full view of Anran's figure, I'd do anything. However, the moment Lu Qinglai stepped onto the stage, everyone lost their minds. The most beautiful teacher. Lu Qinglai. She was the ultimate fantasy of countless people. Especially with that teacher filter. It made her feel completely untouchable, sacred even. And yet, now, she was putting on a show for Lingzhen. Dongjin suddenly couldn't even smell the disgusting stench of the bathroom anymore. His whole body was burning up. Fuck. He didn't dare to imagine how amazing it would be if he were the one sitting in Lingzhen's place. Meanwhile, Lingzhen admired Lu Qinglai's sheer lace outfit, his gaze refusing to move away for even a second. Seeing Lingzhen's captivated expression, Lu Qinglai found it a little odd to be watched like this by her former student. But at the same time, seeing how much he liked it, she couldn't help but feel a little pleased inside. In the end, Lingzhen gave her a 96. Liu Xian, what? Higher than Anran? Just how incredible must she look? Li Ernie, I'll pay gold coins. Can I get a peek, please? Wang Dong, he's just sitting there enjoying the view while we're out here fighting for our lives. And in 2 more days, this guy. Ugh. Fuck. I swear, I'm gonna go kill some zombies, earn gold, and kill Lingzhen. But when the text for round 3 appeared, everyone lost their composure. There was more? There was no way. No way they still had another goddess-level beauty lined up, right? But when the face of Campus Belle Mencken appeared on screen, everyone was utterly stunned. And in the next second, their shock transformed into unmatched jealousy. This was the Campus Belle. The most beautiful Campus Belle. A dance major. Even among all the Campus Belles in universities across China, she was ranked number 1. And now, she had become Lingzhen's personal plaything. Dongjin was so jealous his eyes burned red. He couldn't even speak. His clenched fists dug his nails deep into his palms. And every single person watching the stream felt the same way. A guy like Lingzhen, who had been mocked by the entire internet. Why? Why him? But the way Lingzhen admired Mencken, and the shy expression on her face. It drove them all insane. What the hell was hidden beneath that mosaic? Lingzhen couldn't help but take out his phone and snap a few pictures. This moment had to be preserved. That fabric, thinner than paper, was enough to make anyone go crazy. And when paired with Mencken's unparalleled beauty, perfection. 99 points. Lingzhen had set a new record. Even after Mencken stepped off stage, Lingzhen still looked expectantly at the runway. Because he knew the final act was yet to come. When the most beautiful Campus Belle had already appeared, everyone watching, seething with jealousy, was sure of one thing: there was no way anyone could top Mencken. Dongjin took a deep breath, forcing himself to calm his raging jealousy. He had to stay rational. Revenge couldn't be rushed. One day, all of this, Anran, Lu Qinglai, and even the Campus Belle Mencken, they would all be his. Lingzhen's happiness was only temporary. Once his plan was complete. But just as he had finally managed to settle his emotions, preparing to strategize with his followers, Ryuoyan's unparalleled beauty appeared on screen. This isn't possible. This. How the fuck is this possible? Dongjin's barely contained rage exploded again. This was Ryuoyan. A goddess beyond reach. A woman no one could ever defile. Someone he could only dream of. How could she be standing there, showcasing that kind of outfit for Lingzhen? But then, the camera zoomed in. Ryuoyan's flawless face was displayed in crystal clarity. He Dongcheng's blood pressure skyrocketed. His heart, which had been clinging to hope, finally shattered completely. Lin Xun. Fuck. Your whole family. And the live chat? They were all in the same emotional state as he Dongcheng. A once-in-a-lifetime beauty. A woman they didn't even dare to dream of. And yet, Lin Xun had her. At that moment, Lin Xun had become the public enemy of the entire surrounding area. They had only one goal. Kill Lin Xun. Take back Ryuoyan. But Lin Xun? He didn't give a damn. His expression was that of a man admiring a true work of art. It seemed the mundane world had once blinded him to true beauty. Ryuoyan's perfect curves, paired with an outfit that embodied pure desire to the extreme. A tiny bow was tied just an inch below her waist. With every subtle movement, it was a direct hit to the soul. It was as if Ryuoyan could effortlessly switch between completely different styles. Every gesture, every motion. She could shift from an elegant and mature aura to something playful and cute in an instant. This extreme contrast struck Lin Xun's heart like a heavy artillery blast. Lin Xun couldn't stop himself from standing up. Sitting down almost felt disrespectful to this masterpiece in motion. When Ryuoyan reached the end of the runway, she casually threw him a fleeting glance. Anyone who had ever received such a look knew. When it's too deliberate, it loses its charm. But when it's unintentional, it tugs directly at the heartstrings. And that one glance. It sent everyone in the live stream into a blood pressure crisis. They couldn't even begin to imagine how amazing Lin Xun must be feeling at this moment. After her front-facing showcase was over and Ryuoyan stepped off the stage. It was her almost completely unguarded back view that delivered the final, fatal blow. WTF. Watching this, Lin Xun couldn't help but shake his head. Terrifying. Simply terrifying. Who the hell could withstand this? And the moment Ryuoyan fully exited the stage, Lin Xun, without hesitation, gave her a perfect 100. Anything less would have been an insult to her. The three beauties who followed were slightly behind in comparison. But it wasn't because they weren't breathtaking. It was simply because Ryuoyan and the others were just too stunning. If they were outside, no matter where they went, they would undoubtedly be the center of attention and have countless admirers. Chapter 16, Do You Choose to Serve in Bed? As the showcase ended, the live stream cut off. A bold message remained on the public screen. Noah's Ark is recruiting all kinds of beauties. The better the conditions, the more special the treatment. Interested parties, add the host, Lin Xun as a friend. This was probably the final straw that broke every man's spirit in the live stream. Damn it. Absolutely damn it. Lin Xun already had so many stunning beauties, yet he was still not satisfied. He was still recruiting more. However, for the girls watching the live stream, their hearts had already begun to waver. The showcase just now was undoubtedly the best form of promotion. The places they were in now were constantly at risk, while Lin Xun didn't seem to worry about these dangers at all. On top of that, even someone as breathtaking as Ryuoyan had joined Noah's Ark, and saw no matter how proud they used to be, they all knew they couldn't compare to Ryuoyan. So, for them, who only had their looks, joining Noah's Ark was undoubtedly the best choice. As the fashion show ended, the system settlement screen appeared. As long as Lin Xun's rating matched the system's score, he would receive a reward. Generating ratings. Unran, 95 points. Hosts rating matches. Reward, 10 meters of electric fence traps. Rukongai, 96 points. Hosts rating matches. Reward, a walk-in closet containing over 1,000 outfits in various styles. Mangekyō, 100 points. Hosts rating does not match. No reward granted. Reason for discrepancy: Mangekyō's swimsuit straps were not properly tied, she wasn't wearing shoes, and she had meticulously painted her nails. Ryuoyan, 100 points. Hosts rating matches. Reward, 1 solar-powered generator. When Lin Xun saw that he had misjudged Mangekyō's score, he smacked his thigh hard. He hadn't noticed that detail about her swimsuit straps earlier. What a miscalculation. But at least he got 3 scores right, which was still pretty good. Honestly, the runway put Unran and Rukongai at a bit of a disadvantage. Unran, with her pure and cute image, had trouble standing out on a stage that focused more on seduction, even in a cute swimsuit. The same went for Rukongai. A stunning PhD student. How would she even know how to do this? Lin Xun set down his wine glass and strolled leisurely off the runway. The moment he stepped outside, he saw the 4 women also coming in from another door, now dressed in regular clothing. Seeing Lin Xun, all 4 of them blushed and avoided his gaze in embarrassment. Lin Xun, why was there such a strange segment just now? Unran's face was flushed red. It seems this apocalypse game is really happening. I suppose this must be a rule triggered after occupying a building complex? As a highly educated intellectual, Rukongai had already analyzed the rules and boldly made this deduction. Lingzhen wasn't sure how to explain it, but Rukongai had conveniently given him an out. Kongai is right. This damn building pulled me in and forced me to watch, so I had no choice but to go along with it. Hearing this, the 7 women suddenly had an epiphany, and Lingzhen's image in their hearts became much more noble. You guys go ahead, I'll arrange rooms for you. Lingzhen then assigned the 7 women to single rooms on the 5th floor. The most luxurious part of Noah's Arkansas, this area was reserved exclusively for women with an S-rank beauty rating. When he finished arranging a room for Mangekyō, she suddenly called out to him in a small voice. You knew this would happen, didn't you? That's why you asked me that question that day? Back during dance practice, Mangekyō had thought Lingzhen was a creep. Now it seemed like he had planned it all along. She recalled what she had thought back then: if Lingzhen really got into the girls' dorm, she would dance that kind of dance for him. Thinking about it now, she felt utterly ashamed. No. Mangekyō's delicate body trembled slightly. Huh? No? Then why? Lingzhen gave a devilish smirk, stepped forward, and gently lifted her chin. I simply thought you looked too sexy that day. As he spoke, his hand slid across Mangekyō's fair, soft thigh. Mangekyō gasped, shrinking away like a startled rabbit. Why, you pervert? Then do you want to scream for help? Or call the officials? Lingzhen smirked playfully. His gaze was like that of a hunter watching his prey. Mangekyō instinctively reached for her phone but froze the next second. Out there, beyond these walls, were countless flesh-eating monsters. Several of her dorm mates had already lost contact, rumored to have died outside. Being alive and having someone to rely on was already a rare privilege. But Mangekyō was called a cold beauty campus belle for a reason. She had never been interested in men. Neither rich second jin showering her with money nor handsome guys ever caught her eye. I know it's pointless, but you still shouldn't. She stammered, unable to form a coherent sentence. But why didn't you tie your straps? Why weren't you wearing shoes? Lingzhen continued pressing closer, locking eyes with her. Can you really say you didn't want my protection at all? Mangekyō was speechless because that was exactly what she had thought. At that moment, she had just received news that her dorm mates had died outside. She didn't want to be kicked out of Noah's Ark just because Lingzhen didn't care about her. I did have that thought. Then stop acting all high and mighty. This isn't the past anymore. With that, Lingzhen gave her a deep look and walked out of the room. Mangekyō collapsed to the floor, her mind racing with Lingzhen's words. Just moments ago, she thought she only needed to attract Lingzhen to gain his favor. She even wished he would act like the simps who used to chase her. But Lingzhen's words shattered that illusion. She realized she needed to face reality now. Leaving her behind, Lingzhen turned his attention to how to develop Noah's Ark further. Food wasn't an issue. He had a super grain warehouse that automatically produced food. The daily production was enough to feed 10 people. And with his women's food consumption bonus, food was not something he needed to worry about. Thinking about resources, he suddenly remembered. He hadn't even used the resource domination bonus yet. Might as well activate it now. At that moment, Danzō was completely consumed by jealousy and hatred after Lingzhen's fashion show. He gathered a group of his close buddies from the bathroom and formed a team, vowing to kill Lingzhen and steal his women. So, 7 or 8 men grabbed their weapons and walked out of the bathroom, planning to head to the supermarket, grab some food, and sell it on the marketplace for gold coins. Luckily, since the apocalypse game had just begun, the number of zombies that had spawned wasn't too high yet. By sticking together, they managed to reach the supermarket safely. As expected, most people are too scared to come out. The timid starve, while the bold feast. We're about to get our revenge. Danzō sneered as he looked at the nearly deserted supermarket. The others got excited too. Right now, a single bag of chips could sell for hundreds of gold coins on the marketplace. If they grabbed a few bags of snacks, they could easily buy some firearms. As they imagined a future where they had wives and concubines by the dozens, they rushed into the supermarket. Inside, they saw a dozen or so people already looting supplies. Not wanting to be outdone, they immediately dove in as well, stuffing their bags full of goods. However, just as they were celebrating their haul, a notification popped up in the regional chat, instantly sending them into a frenzy. Player, Lingzhen, activated one-time bonus, resource domination. All resources within 100 miles have been transferred. The next second, every single piece of visible food within a 100-kilometer radius vanished, instantly transported into Noah's Arkansas. Since Lingzhen's super grain warehouse could store unlimited resources, he had no concerns about running out of space. At that moment, Danzō had just lifted several heavy bags of food, fantasizing about his bright future. The next second, his bags were empty. He and his group staggered, nearly falling over. When they saw the message on the regional chat, Dongcheng completely lost it. Lingzhen again. Fuck your mother. That was my food. The others also erupted into furious curses. The hope they had just ignited was instantly sucked away by Lingzhen's ability. Meanwhile, the regional chat was going wild. Everyone was cursing Lingzhen. Dongcheng, Lingzhen, FCKU, you fucking bastard, I swear I'll fucking kill you, Liu Yang, FK me, I just caught a fish from the school pond, Li Erniu, there's no food left. This bastard took it all. What the hell are we supposed to do now? Commonly wrong, brother Lingzhen. I sent you a friend request. Can you please accept? I have a pair of stockings I'd like you to check out, Wang Dong, you filthy above me, if I ever find out where you are, I'll fucking play you. Lingzhen didn't see the regional chat messages at all. Because after his runway live stream promotion and resource domination, his friend requests had completely exploded. Although some of them were just people cursing him, the majority were women. And their friend requests were incredibly thirsty. It was strange. Before the apocalypse game started, where were all these thirsty women? But now, they were all coming out of the woodwork. Even more absurd, his ex-girlfriend Zhuhua was trying to add him. Zhuhua, Lingzhen, please, let's get back together. I still love you. You can do whatever you want with me, even if you just use me as a toy. Seeing this, Lingzhen accepted her request and sent her a photo of a room stuffed full of snacks. Zhuhua, Lingzhen, have you forgiven me? Did you send me this because you want to give me food? Lingzhen, no. Just wanted you to see it. The moment he sent the message, he deleted her. Zhuhua instantly broke down in rage. Lingzhen, you bastard. You won't die a good death. As soon as she screamed, the men surrounding her blocked her against the wall. Well, Zhuhua, did you manage to scam some food? Zhuhua's face paled, her body trembling slightly. He deleted me. Deleted you? Then how about keeping us company for a while? We'll give you some food. With that, the men pinned Zhuhua down and began tormenting her. Inside the room, only Zhuhua's sobs could be heard. These men were the ones she used to look down on. Poor, ugly, and disgusting. But now, she had no choice but to endure. Meanwhile, Lingzhen had no idea about Zhuhua's situation, nor did he care. Instead, he spent some allocation points to install a water resource generator inside Noah's Ark, ensuring a steady water supply for bathing and daily needs. A level 1 water resource generator was enough for 10 people. He also spent 3 allocation points to upgrade Noah's Ark's defense level to level 4. Previously, Lingzhen had upgraded it once, and Enran's bonus had given it another level. Now, with this upgrade, it was directly at level 4. Even if a zombie king invaded, he wouldn't be worried at all. After that, he spent some gold coins to install an electric fence around Noah's Ark and saw each meter of electric fencing cost 100 gold coins. To fully enclose Noah's Ark, he used 100 meters, plus the 10 meters the system had gifted him. Total cost, 9,000 gold coins. Remaining gold coins, 61,000. The electric fence wasn't just for zombies. It was also to guard against humans. And sure enough, just as Lingzhen finished setting up the electric fence, he saw through the area surveillance system that several people were sneaking toward the back of Noah's Ark and saw they thought the fence was just for show. After all, the apocalypse game had only just begun. Who would have expected it to be an electric fence? The moment they touched the fence, it was already too late. They were electrocuted on the spot. Before he knew it, night had fallen. This was the first night since the apocalypse game had begun. And tonight, many people wouldn't be able to sleep. The women inside Noah's Ark's rooms were no exception. They curled up in their beds, their minds filled with countless thoughts. At that moment, their game interface suddenly popped up with a choice. Would you like to serve the host in bed? Yes or no? The moment the 2 choices appeared, the 4 women froze. Serve in bed. Liu Qinglai's face instantly turned red. She was Lingzhen's professor. How could she possibly do such a thing with her own student? After hesitating for a long time, she ultimately chose to decline. She had fantasized about it before, but it just didn't seem appropriate. Besides, Lingzhen probably didn't have that kind of interest in her. Right? When Campus Belle saw this choice, she hesitated for a long time. In reality, the moment she hesitated, her heart had already been breached by Lingzhen's words from earlier in the day. If Lingzhen hadn't said those things to her, she would have rejected without a second thought. After struggling internally for a while, Mencken still gritted her teeth and chose to decline. She had barely even spoken a few words with Lingzhen. They were practically strangers. Not to mention, she had never had any physical contact with a man before. How could she possibly just agree to serve Lingzhen in bed? Ryuo Yan also hesitated for a moment before choosing to decline. At this moment, Lingzhen was lying leisurely on his large bed. Seeing each of the women reject the choice, he wasn't surprised at all. After all, no woman wanted to be seen as easy. Besides, none of them had really interacted much with him yet. Their refusal was perfectly normal. But Lingzhen didn't care in the slightest. He wasn't in a rush. In fact, he preferred watching women gradually change from cold and indifferent to devoted simps. At that moment, his room door suddenly knocked. Lingzhen paused slightly and pulled up the full area surveillance feed. He saw Anran standing outside the door. Chapter 17, A Shy Anran. Lingzhen hadn't expected that the pure and innocent class monitor would come looking for him. So he got up and opened the door, only to see Anran gently hugging herself with her delicate arms. Her beautiful eyes shimmered slightly, looking at him pitifully. Lingzhen, I'm a little scared being alone. Anran's voice carried a slight sob. Because of her past experience of being cyberbullied, Anran already had mild depression and deeply longed for companionship. But after being falsely accused, she found it hard to trust others. So all this time, she kept that longing buried inside. Yet, ever since she saw Lingzhen going through the same experience, she couldn't help but resonate with him, and unconsciously, her heart opened up to him. When she was faced with that choice, Anran hesitated for a moment but ultimately decided to open her heart, entrusting that last bit of longing completely to Lingzhen. Don't be afraid, I'll always be with you. That sentence completely warmed the once cold heart of Anran. Morning. The system's voice woke Lingzhen from his groggy sleep. Host has made a significant contribution to the continuation of humanity's descendants. Reward, 5,000 gold coins. Next phase reward progress, 1 out of 3. Last night, the electric fence killed 27 level 1 zombies, earning 270 gold coins. He hadn't expected to receive rewards for this as well. Was it because he didn't prepare any safety measures for the experience? After all, it was Anran's first battle, so he naturally had to abandon his defenses and go all out to teach her everything. However, the gold coins from killing zombies were way too little. It seemed that in this game, the key to winning was recruiting more people and expanding his influence. Later, when Lingzhen arrived at the dining area, he found that the girls were already there ahead of him. But they were all staring at the food in front of them, looking at each other in confusion. The kitchen was fully stocked with all sorts of equipment, and the fridge was filled with a variety of ingredients. Yet, they had no idea where to start. The only one who could cook, Anran, was sitting on a dining chair, hesitantly shifting her legs but not daring to stand up. Because every time she moved even a little, a sharp pain shot through her legs. She pouted and glanced at Lingzhen, who had just entered. Ran, aren't you coming to see what you want to eat? Yeah, I remember you've been sitting there since you got in. The other girls also looked at Anran with some confusion. Anran nervously touched the pink bow on her collar. And no, it's fine. You guys go ahead and pick. I'm not picky. Seeing this, the girls didn't ask further. In the end, breakfast was prepared by Rukongai, who made fried eggs, Mangekyō, who made buttered toast, and Ryuoyan, who made a vegetable salad. Triggered, women's resource consumption rebate. The 4 eggs, 12 slices of toast, 2 corns, and other consumed ingredients have been doubled and returned to the super granary. After breakfast, the girls seemed to realize that since they were staying in Noah's Ark, they needed to contribute. After all, no one could just freeload. Moreover, they had noticed that food prices in the trading market had started to rise. And this increase was bound to accelerate as time in the apocalypse progressed. I'll take care of cleaning the rooms, Lingzhen. You've been working so hard managing Noah's Ark, you shouldn't waste energy on chores, Mangekyō said, looking at Lingzhen. After a night of reflection, she had thought through a lot and finally accepted what Lingzhen had told her yesterday. Then I'll do the laundry, Rukongai added. Ryuoyan hesitated for a moment, then her beautiful eyes lit up. Then I can be Lingzhen's assistant. I've learned a lot from my manager. Then I'll cook for everyone, Anran said softly. Seeing how proactive the girls were, Lingzhen felt rather gratified. Inside the storage room of the school gym, Mangekyō and Mangekyō had hidden inside this enclosed storage room the moment the apocalypse game started. The 2 sisters had no idea what was happening. But outside, the sound of frantic footsteps, and as time passed, the increasingly twisted threats and the cries of women being victimized, made them realize they absolutely couldn't leave. Then, just last night, a group of people suddenly surrounded the door, trying to break it open. Even now, in the morning, they were still trying. Bang! 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 The pounding on the door continued. Inside the storage room, the 2 sisters trembled uncontrollably. On top of that, they hadn't eaten for over 10 hours, and their stomachs were already growling. Bro, I swear, there's gotta be a big-time celebrity inside. Yeah. Definitely. This is where the celebrities changed during the concert, And I clearly heard noises inside yesterday. Wonder if it's Ryuoyan or Lwomengsu. If it's the Lwo twins, that'd be even better. The lewd and deranged voices from outside made the sisters even more terrified. In the dimly lit storage room, the two held their phones, communicating through text, not daring to make a sound. Lwomengsu, I already contacted the family. They said they can send a helicopter today, but my phone's almost out of battery. Lwomeniu, woo-wah-woo, sis, my phone's almost dead too. What if we can't contact them later? And I think the door is about to break. Lwomeniu's delicate face showed a trace of hesitation. If only the game's friends search function allowed unlimited range. But it only worked within a certain area. Still, there was another way. Just after the apocalypse broke out yesterday, she had received a lot of friend requests. Among them, there was one person she had noticed in the regional chat. Lingzan. He had taken over an entire building complex and even preemptively claimed all the other buildings in the school. She had also watched that so-called runway live stream. If she wanted, she could seek Lingzan's protection. But as someone who had always been the center of attention, her pride made it difficult to accept. If she agreed, wouldn't that be no different from being kept by this man? And not just her. Her younger sister would be included too. Lwomeniu, sis, maybe we should just agree to that guy for now. Once our family arrives, we can leave. Chapter 18, The Sisters Compromise. As the sounds of the door breaking grew louder, Lwomengsu finally gave in and opened her friend list to contact Lingzan. Inside Noah's Arkansas at that moment, Lingzan had just signed the Noah's Ark residency contracts with the 7 women when he received a message. When he saw that it was Lwomengsu, his eyes flickered. She finally reached out. He had almost thought Lwomengsu had been eaten by zombies. After learning that Lwomengsu was trapped in the storage room backstage at the sports arena, Lingzan wasn't in a hurry. After all, the more desperate a situation, the easier it was to break a woman's bottom line. Lingzan, are you alone, or with others? Lwomengsu, I'm with my sister. Can you come and save us? Lingzan, I can, but why should I? Lingzan, because you'll wear thigh highs and give me a sexy dance? Or because you know how to cook and can make me noodles? The moment Lwomengsu saw Lingzan's lewd words, she immediately blocked him. She felt utterly wronged. This man was too disgusting to say something like that. Lwomeniu, sis, how is it? Is he willing to help us? Lwomengsu struggled for a long time, not knowing how to respond. Just then, she suddenly heard a bang. The lock on his storage room door made a loud noise. It's almost open. I can't wait anymore. Remember, I go first. I was the one who found this place. Greedy and depraved voices rang out once again. Lwomengsu's delicate face turned frantic with fear. She didn't dare to imagine what would happen if the door actually broke open. Suddenly, Lingzan's demands didn't seem so excessive in comparison. So, she unblocked him from her blacklist. Lwomengsu, I thought about it. If you want to watch, I can dance for you. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. No response. Lingzan, seeing that Lwomengsu had unblocked him, let out a cold chuckle. Didn't appreciate it before. What were you doing all that time? Watching the door about to give in, Lwomengsu grew anxious. Tears were already welling up in Lwomeniu's eyes, fear overwhelming her. Lwomengsu couldn't afford to care about dignity anymore. In moments of life or death crisis, a person's limits could be easily broken. Lwomengsu, if you have any conditions, just name them. As long as you come save me and my sister right now. Finally, the man on the other end responded. Lingzan, I want you and your sister. One in thigh highs, one in white silk. To dance for me alone. And the outfits have to be see-through. Lwomengsu hadn't expected that. Not only did Lingzan want her to dance, but he also wanted her sister to join in. And in revealing outfits, too. This was too much. But time was running out, and she couldn't afford to hesitate. So she agreed immediately. Lwomengsu, fine, I agree. Just hurry. I'm in danger right now. Lingzan, send me your exact location. I'm on my way. Inside Noah's Arkansas, Lingzan had actually considered making even more excessive demands. But he worried that, for a proud celebrity like her, pushing too hard might make her choose suicide instead. That would be a hassle. After all, these were a pair of stunning twin sisters. It would be a real waste if they died. Besides, as long as he brought them into Noah's Ark, the rewards would be incredibly tempting. Lingzan entered Noah's Ark's armory. Instead of choosing an eye-catching rifle, he took a modified full-auto Glock and a silenced USP, along with several fully loaded magazines. He also put on a level 1 Apocalypse protective suit and a protective helmet. To get higher level gear, he would need to spend gold coins or allocation points to upgrade the armory. But for now, The level 1 protective suit was enough to withstand some firearms and the bites of level 1 zombies. After all, there was no guarantee that someone hadn't already gathered enough gold coins to buy firearms from the games shop. Just as he was ready to head out, a game announcement suddenly echoed. Zombies will evolve to level 2 in 50 hours. Players, please upgrade building defenses as soon as possible. At that time, the regional auction will open to assist players in defending against the next stage of a zombie game. Players are advised to stock up on gold coins in advance. Regional auction. Lingzhen was slightly surprised. Looked like he needed to save up more gold coins. Since items would be sold through auctions, it meant the goods would definitely be valuable. No one would auction off a useless, stinky sock. Unless, of course, it had been worn by a celebrity. After checking that his 2 pistols weren't jammed, Lingzhen bought a target and fired a few shots to get a feel for them. Then, he set off. Thanks to the electric fence, there weren't many zombies around Noah's Ark, and any that got too close had already been electrocuted. Of course, among the piles of zombie corpses, there were also a few unlucky human bodies. Lingzhen placed his hand near his waist, ready to draw his gun in case of emergencies. Noah's Ark wasn't far from the sports arena, with only 2 dorm buildings in between. As he passed the first girls' dormitory, a few zombies suddenly lunged at him from below. Lingzhen immediately pulled out the silenced USP and aimed. Since he wasn't too confident in his accuracy, he let the zombies get closer before firing. 2 headshots to kill a level 1 zombie. These zombies were easy to deal with. This was the advantage of having firearms in the early stages of the zombie game. But as zombies evolved, the best strategy would be to lay low. After swapping out a fresh magazine, ensuring he had enough ammo, he continued forward. Just as he passed the second dormitory, a sudden, heavy thud made Lingzhen tense up. From the sound, he could tell something had fallen from the dorm building. Raising his pistol, he aimed towards the source of the noise. There, on the ground, was a naked figure. The body had landed in such a way that the face was turned toward him. Lingzhen frowned as he recognized her. Zhuhua. Why had she fallen from the building? But as he got closer, he noticed that Zhuhua's body was still twitching. And when he saw how filthy she was, he immediately understood. Zhuhua hadn't fallen. Someone had thrown her down. Her eyes were filled with emptiness and despair, clearly having suffered severe torment. At this moment, Zhuhua still had some remaining consciousness. When she saw Lingzhen standing before her with a gun in hand, her heart, which had been drowning in despair, seemed to find redemption once more. Lingzhen. Lingzhen could save her. But she couldn't move. Her entire body felt broken. So she tried pleading with her eyes, looking at Lingzhen with desperation, hoping he would understand. However, just then, she suddenly saw Lingzhen raise his gun and aim it at her. You want a quick end, right? I understand. Chapter 19. Within 7 steps, the gun is fast and accurate. Zhuhua was completely dumbfounded. She tried to move whatever parts of her body she could to signal Lingzhen. I want to be saved, not finished off. But she couldn't speak, nor could she move. She could only roll her eyes back and forth. However, this scene made Lingzhen think that Zhuhua was urging him to shoot quickly. Don't rush me. This is my first time killing someone. I need to mentally prepare myself, Lingzhen said impatiently. There would be no shortage of killing in the apocalypse. So he didn't mind using Zhuhua to steel himself first. It was both fulfilling Zhuhua's wishes and helping himself. When she saw the black barrel of the gun aimed at her forehead and the faint flame flickering from the suppressor as the bullet was fired, Zhuhua was completely devastated. Death followed immediately. Before she died, regret surged in her heart. If she hadn't tried to get revenge on Lingzhen before, would her fate have been different? Maybe she could have lived in Noah's Ark and gained Lingzhen's protection. Staring at the empty hole in her forehead and the blood-splattered ground, Lingzhen's heartbeat unconsciously sped up, and his breathing became noticeably heavier. His hand holding the gun trembled slightly before he quickly steadied it. Taking a deep breath, he calmed himself down. Don't panic. It's just killing. There will be many more to kill in the future, Lingzhen told himself. Before leaving, he took a few more glances at Zhuhua's corpse to adapt himself to the sight faster. Then, he headed toward the sports arena. Outside the sports arena, the scene was already drenched in blood. Severed limbs and mangled bodies were scattered everywhere. The dismembered corpses were exposed to the air, filling the place with the pungent stench of blood. The sports arena had the highest concentration of people when the apocalypse broke out. So, it was also the bloodiest battlefield. As a result, there were many zombies gathered around. The entrance to the sports arena had long been broken through by zombies. Lingzhen cleared out a few zombies at the entrance and stepped inside. Almost every corner had zombies lurking around. He moved stealthily, hugging the edges of the walkways to avoid them as much as possible. Before long, He reached the entrance to the backstage area of the concert. However, the backstage door had already been locked by someone. From inside, bursts of depraved laughter could be heard. Almost there, the door is about to break. I can't wait anymore. If it's really a big-time celebrity, then even if I die after this, it'll be worth it. At that moment, a sobbing sound came from within. That sound was like a fuel to their twisted desires. The men inside burst into wild laughter. Go on, cry. Cry louder. The louder you cry, the more excited I get. One of them, dressed in a security guard uniform, was crazily smashing the door handle with a baseball bat. On the ground, several corpses lay strewn about, along with a few bound, naked female university students. Their eyes had lost all color. Only emptiness remained. Bang! With a loud crash, the door to the storage room was finally broken open. When the stunning figures of Mangekyō and Mangekyō appeared before the so-called security guards, the greed in their eyes instantly magnified tenfold. They never imagined that one day, they'd have a chance to do something like this to actual celebrities. They lost all sense of control, rushing madly toward the storage room. Mangekyō's screams filled the air. Mangekyō, on the other hand, tightly shielded her younger sister behind her, a deep sense of helplessness flashing through her eyes. Was she really about to become the plaything of these men? Lingzhen, where are you? She would rather be played with by Lingzhen than be defiled by these thugs. Just then, a sharp clanging of metal rang out. A series of loud noises came from the backstage entrance. The sudden, piercing sounds interrupted the men's actions, making them all freeze and turn toward the door. What's going on? Who's breaking in? It definitely wasn't the zombies. From the sound of it, it was clearly someone. Forget it. Let's have our fun first. Who cares who it is? One of them suggested, and the others nodded in agreement. Just as they were about to make their next move. Bang! The backstage door was kicked open. The men jolted in shock, instinctively grabbing their weapons and looking toward the entrance with wary expressions. There, they saw a man dressed in black protective gear, gripping a handgun, calmly stepping inside. In Lingzhen's hands, the freshly reloaded silenced pistol was still faintly emitting smoke from its barrel. When Mangekyō and Mangekyō caught a glimpse of Lingzhen through the gaps between the men, they both let out a sigh of relief. However, the security guards immediately scowled in annoyance. You little shit, did I say you could come in? A gun? PFFT. I've seen all kinds of things in my time. I only know one truth. 2 fists can't beat 4 hands. You don't seriously think that little toy can't take on all of us, do you? The leader tugged at his unbuttoned security uniform, looking at Lingzhen with a sneer. He wasn't afraid of Lingzhen's gun at all. After all, he had 5 men standing behind him. Lingzhen remained expressionless, his gaze sweeping over the corpses on the ground and the bound female students. He understood. These weren't just ordinary security guards. Anyone who could kill this many people definitely had blood on their hands before. So, he spoke indifferently. I don't care about the women on the floor. I just want the 2 inside. Give them to me, and I'll leave. Refuse, and you all die. His gun and his full body level 1 protective gear were his biggest advantages.